Caesars Arena. Along with Paul Woods, I'm Ken Kell. The Hurricanes coming off a 5-1 victory over the Washington Capitals. They've won their last 3, and the Red Wings played a strong game, Paul, in St. Louis, but lost a tough 2-1 decision in overtime.
They weren't in desperation mode against the Blues. Ken, they're definitely in it now tonight against these Carolina Hurricanes. The Wings need these 2 points at bat. It can't just stop here tonight, Friday, against the Hurricanes. They got to knock off the Florida Panthers on Sunday afternoon and then go to Montreal and take on the red-hot Montreal Canadiens, who've won 3 consecutive games.
Well, the Red Wings did play well. They were 30 seconds away from picking up the 2 points in regulation. Received an important point, I guess you could say, with the overtime loss. But they really battled hard. That's back-to-back games the Red Wings were involved in 1-goal games.
Tight defensively, much stronger defensively. And again, it was a good job of the Red Wings, just heartbreaking a loss. And you combine it with a comeback victory for the Montreal Canadiens, tying it up late in regulation time. 9 seconds left. Nick Suzuki then win the game in sudden death overtime. That was a massive swing in the Eastern Conference standings. But still, they've got a pathway to get themselves in the playoffs. That starts tonight against these Carolina Hurricanes. Will not come easy. One of the better 5-on-5 teams in the National Hockey League.
Heard from Tom McClellan in the pregame show about Carolina. They like shot volume. They like to shoot the puck at will at the opposing goaltenders. 1-3 straight. 12-2-0 in their last 14 hockey games, and looks like right now they're going to be in that second position in the Metropolitan Division.
Again, home ice in the opening round of the playoffs, but again, they want to finish on a high note. They're missing a couple of key guys, though. Jordan Stahls, the captain, he's not going to play. He's a very important player. He's outstanding at penalty killer. He'll help the Red Wings at power play. He's a good face-off man as well. He's out there in all the difficult situations. And your Jenny Svechnikov's been in and out of the lineup. He's been injured a couple of different times, but those are 2 top 9 forwards for Rod Brindamore. But again, Rod Brindamore, the better coaches in the National Hockey League. And again, it doesn't seem to matter who plays on the team. They just get that 5-man game going in the offensive zone. They like to break your will, wear you down mentally and physically, and put the game away. But the Wings just can't allow it to happen. If you look at their defensemen, they're not household hockey names. Brent Burns is been around for a long time, but really not a great defensive defenseman. So that's where the Wings are going to win the game. Lots of time in the offensive zone, get their 5-man game going, and hopefully beat these Carolina Hurricanes.
Justin Robida is playing in his first National Hockey League game for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. He is 22 years old, native of Plano, Texas. Red Wings coming into tonight's matchup, they're going back with Cam Talbot in goal for Detroit.
Couldn't ask for any more of a Cam Talbot's done the last couple of games. 1-1 that game against the Boston Bruins. He should have won the second one against the St. Louis Blues, and the Blues are proving they were for real. Won again last night. It's now an 11 games winning streak for Jim Montgomery and those red-hot St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, a couple of hot teams right now in the National Hockey League. The other, the Dallas Stars, who have won 7 straight games.
And you got to remember about Dallas, they got some good players still to come back on that line, especially Miro Heiskanen back on the blue line. He's their best defenseman healthy. And then Tyler Seguin up front. Plug those 2 guys back in. Mika Rantanen coming over in that big trade with the Carolina Hurricanes, and that's definitely going to be a team who will be difficult to beat come playoff season.
Well, some interesting races as far as the divisions in the National Hockey League, and you go no further than the Atlantic Division. Right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs on top. They've won a couple of games, 3 games in a row, 96 points right now. They have a 3-point cushion on Tampa Bay, currently in second place, and a 4-point cushion on the Florida Panthers.
Florida Panthers got injuries back on the blue line. Ekblad not to playing. That's suspension. He won't play until Game 3 of the playoffs. The Florida Panthers. Dmitry Kulikov not playing as well, and that's been their weakness as of late. I think it's going to end up the way it is right now. Toronto 1, Tampa Bay 2, and the Florida Panthers 3. It puts Florida and Tampa in round 1 of the Eastern Conference of playoffs, and what a battle that'll be.
Take a look at the injury report right now. It is brought to you by McLaren Healthcare, doing what's best, and several injuries on the Red Wing team. Andrew Kopp is still out for the rest of the season. Carter Mazer, Peter Mrazek, Eric Gustafson, and good to note, Elmer Soderblom, who's been a scratch because of injury. He is back in the lineup here tonight.
And he's actually slated in that second line with Marco Kasper and Lucas Raymond, so that should give that group a lift. They will play in the offensive zone. Then Michael Rasmussen, he drops down the 4th line with Tyler Mott and Craig Smith. The other 2 lines stay together.
Here come the Red Wings out onto the ice surface, waiting the arrival of the Carolina Hurricanes, and we'll be back with tonight's opening face-off. It's the Red Wings and the Carolina Hurricanes live from Little Caesars Arena. This is the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
Waldside put the first in 81st. It's Waldside's 81st year in business. So for the first and only time ever, you get 81 months no interest. 81 months with no down payment. Plus half off every window we make. It's another first for Waldside. 81 months, no interest. plus half off every window. For a very limited time, call Wallside today, 1-800-521-7800, or go to wallside.com.
I'm attorney Mark Bernstein at the Sam Bernstein Law Firm. When you're hurt, you shouldn't have to wait for help. That's why when you contact us, we respond fast. You'll have help when you need it most. We're so responsive, we're winning awards. In 2021 and again in 2022, we won the Hennessy Digital Award for fastest responding law firm. Getting help quickly when you need help most, that's the Bernstein advantage. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Michigan's first family of law.
North Brothers Ford knows how to build a winning team. They've won the prestigious President's Award over 23 times. It has conducted successful business for over 87 years. They've assembled the best league-leading selection of F-150s, Broncos, Expeditions, Mustangs, and more. Their certified sales staff provide the ultimate customer service, and highly trained technicians ensure you get the very most life out of your vehicle. Score big today with the only Ford dealership on Ford Road in Westland. North Brothers Ford.
Face-off is just moments away as we pause for station identification on the Detroit Red Wings radio network.
Before, during,
wrist far side, shoots deflected, they score!
he lives here. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
And again, we welcome you back to Little Caesars Arena here in the District Detroit as the Red Wings take on the Carolina Hurricanes. It's the third and final meeting of the season. Hurricanes have won both already this season. Before we start tonight's hockey game, let's go downstairs for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Man, ever.
Nice national anthem here tonight prior to the start of tonight's game between the Detroit Red Wings and the Carolina Hurricanes. Red Wings 75 points, 6 points out of that final wild card spot. 34, 33, and 7 on the season. Carolina 46, 24, and 4. 96 points for them. They're currently in the second spot in the Metropolitan Division. They're 16, 16, and 3 on the road. All right, let's get tonight's starting lineups. They're brought to you by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Just call us today for a free estimate.
Here will be Fyodor Kochetkov in goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's got 26 victories on the season. He's the backup goaltender. Back on the blue line, it will be Jalen Chatfield and Sean Walker. Then up front, the third line, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Jordan Martinook, and Logan Stankoven.
Cam Talbot gets the call in goal. This is third straight game. On the blue line, Jeff Petrie teamed up with Simon Edmondson. Up front, JT Compher, Jonathan Berggren, and Vladimir Tarasenko. Underway here in Detroit. The puck sent around the boards right side. Chatfield didn't clear it out. Comes back on the line. Tarasenko with a shot in front off his stick into the corner. Chopped around the boards near side. Wings force it. Comes back to the blue line. Petrie's shot blocked by Martinook. Goes into the
Robida, he's earned every bit of it, a former fifth-round pick. He's had a heck of a year in Chicago. His compete is off the charts. And Dmitry Orlov, we're probably going to see in these remaining games, and Orlov has played very well, that you're going to rest guys, as well you should.
And the Canes will win the draw. They'll work this one around. Stankoven giving chase. Played up the boards. Burns will swat at it, but it'll be knocked away by Berggren. And Kotkaniemi goes back to get it. Worked across. Nice play there by Slavin. His pass, though, deflected in Detroit. Talbot moves it up. Canes working to try to keep it in. Now let's see. A chance for Sider. Tries to clear. Canes keep it in. Bouncing puck to the right of Talbot. Carolina. A little bit of pressure, but Sider will get to this one and throw it forward. And Vladimir Tarasenko, the two-time Stanley Cup champ, carries it over the Canes blue line, but it's offside. And what a moment here for every rookie, but for Justin Robidas tonight. He gets the rookie lap.
I've watched him in development camps and training camps. He's had to earn every bit of it. Has spent time in the East Coast League. His dad, who's here, who's coaching in Montreal, they won last night. They'll play again tomorrow, and what a proud moment. I love watching his dad play. I see similarities in terms of their ability to skate more than anything, their compete.
Yeah.
Stefan Robidas, who played just under 1,000 games in the NHL, now coaching in Montreal.
As this rolls in on Cam Talbot, he'll get a whistle, and let's find out a little bit more about Justin Robidas. He was born in Plano, Texas, just 22 years old, drafted by the Canes 147th overall in 2021, and with the Wolves this year, 17 goals, 31 assists in those 65 games. And as you mentioned, his development, he worked his way up through the East Coast Hockey League, what he's been able to do, and now he is in the NHL here tonight. Scott Morrow with it. And he'll drop this one back for Blake. Blake back to Morrow. He'll work it into the corner for Aho too far. As Detroit plays it up the boards. Nice play by Robinson. He'll get it to Jarvis. He'll try to work this one for Aho. Rather, that's Morrow again. Morrow with a good play. And now this one will bat its way over the Detroit blue line for Blake. Blake will turn and carry the puck in. He's being pestered the whole way. He drops it for Jarvis. Drag shot. Save made as Talbot makes that save. Now Blake with another play as he'll deliver the biscuit to Jarvis. Along the boards. Burns steps up. It'll find Blake. Blake with a turn. Blake has Jarvis. He'll hang on to the puck. He's been outstanding at hanging on to pucks this year in those tight spaces. Now it's handed off here for Burns. Burns tries to work it through, but that puck will be slid away, and Dylan Larkin will flip this into the Cane zone, but this will be icing on Detroit.
Good shift from the Blake line. Jalen Chatfield, there was a ton of noise after his altercation that Connor McMichael initiated third period against Washington. And anytime helmets are off, I get the concern about player safety. Nobody is more concerned about player safety than player safety themselves. Whether it be George Peros, Stefan Quintel, Ryan Getzlaf, all part of his staff. I trust the guys that have been in the trenches and fights to decipher intent. And there was obviously no discipline.
No. And again, it's one of those situations where things certainly get amplified for no reason. This is offside as Slavin lets the shot go.
And I remember distinctly in George Peros' career when he was playing for Montreal, he was fighting Cold Nor, and there was a scary incident with his head hitting the ice. So look at all the combined fights in the careers of Peros, Getzlaf, Quintel, player safety staff. Right. And they look at everything. And I trust those guys that have been in the battle to protect the players, but also to have the best chance at deciphering intent.
Well said on that. And again, they would be the ones who understand the intent that comes along with it. And here is Chatfield. He scored a goal against the Red Wings back on March 14th at Lenovo Center. Turned out to be the game-winning goal, too, for Carolina. As this is back in, but Smith will knock it down to the Red Wing zone. And play it back for Justin Hall, the former Maple Leaf. He'll sit behind Talbot's net, being watched here by Jankowski. And on the ice, making his NHL debut, is Justin Robidas. A long stretch pass up for Tyler Motte. Motte, he tries to work his way around. Can't find his way around Walker. Into the corner it goes. Rasmussen, watched by Chatfield. Heavy shoulder thrown there in the corner. Canes able to move it up along the boards. Not out. Rasmussen works it around. Motte to it. Motte and Walker fight for it along the end boards. Penalty coming up to Carolina as Talbot heads to the bench. This is going to flee the hurricane zone. Canes can make a change, but extra attacker on the ice here for Detroit. We'll see how long they'll skate with this. As the Red Wings will work it in to Brinkett. Rink wide. Going to be settled down. Raymond will throw it, and this one will come out over the Canes blue line. So, while Detroit still has the empty net with the extra attacker, not gaining any headway in the Cane zone. Now Sider will have this one knocked down, touched up by Burns. And a power play coming up for the Red Wings.
And we were 4 seconds away from a commercial break before your first penalty kill of the night. I was keeping track on that with the long delayed penalty.
Carolina number 26, 2-minute minor penalty holding.
Kendrick Nicholson working this game with Brian Pakmara with the announcement. And Walker gets the gate. Stick came up underneath the arm, and that's what drew the infraction. Detroit's power play in the 2 wins that Carolina's had recently against the Red Wings, against a juggernaut of a power play, has been a huge part of winning twice, including a really good early kill here the last visit.
Win off of the draw, and Raymond rolls this one on, and Kochetkov will freeze it right there. As you mentioned, Pyotr Kochetkov, this is a big game for the Canes netminder, as he's 26-13-3, but he wants to snap a 2-game losing streak. 2 shutouts on the season. Other end of the rink, Cam Talbot, who comes into this one 18-17-4 for Detroit with a sub-3 goals against average and a .903 save percentage. 2 shutouts as well. So the goalie matchup is set. We'll see if Kochetkov, he said he might see a lot of work early, and there's a shot from Raymond, and he'll hug the post. Kane, they work it back for Sider, for DeBrincat. 61 goals have been scored by the Red Wings on the power play this year. That leads the NHL in total goals scored on the man advantage. A nice play to try to break this one up. Second opportunity, though, kept in by Detroit. A chance here by DeBrincat, and Kochetkov uses his head there wisely to help keep that one out, and the Canes can clear.
He had to adjust because Slavin did an excellent job on the one-timer of getting a stick on it. You know, so that's the athleticism you're looking for. You don't know if puck's going off a stick. Fine play by Slavin.
Now Kane hands it off for Larkin. Larkin watched by Chatfield. It'll come around for Gostisbehere. He gets it up for Aho. Aho tries to chip it off the boards. Can't. Larkin. His pass deflected by Chatfield. Excellent stick there. Now Chatfield tries to take it away from Kane and does. And this one is going to trickle to the blue line and bounce out. Sider can't keep it there. It'll be played back between the blue lines and it'll be given away to Jarvis. Jarvis looking for a step. He's got Aho with him. He'll leave it for Aho. His shot deflected. Tipped out in front, and Talbot had to be ready as it was friendly fire.
Friendly fire. Jarvis started it all, knocking a puck out of midair in his own blue line. He and Sebastian Aho, shorthanded, continue to be dominating, really.
30 seconds left on the kill for Carolina. Second-ranked penalty kill in the NHL. They've killed 185 of 219 attempts. And Simon Edmondson will drop this one back. It was Marco Kasper carrying it in. Burns will get one of those big skate boots to it. He'll kick it forward, and Robinson will come away with it. He takes a look, and it's cleared out for Carolina. Tyson Jost. He had a fine game against the Caps. Didn't show up on the score sheet other than getting into a scrap with his former teammate in Minnesota, Brandon Duhaime, and out of the box comes Sean Walker. Only 2 shots on goal for Detroit.
Best chance was the one Jarvis created. It almost went off a Detroit skate shorthanded. The Slavin nice stick play and adjustment from Kochetkov. Heck of a kill.
Now Gostisbehere goes back to play it around for Chatfield. Chatfield trying to play it up the boards. Mott with a good read, but a second chance, and the Canes can clear this one out. And as Kotkaniemi waited to send it free, and then the bounce will find Gostisbehere. Now Stankoven drags, can't get the shot through, follows the rebound, but Detroit will get to that one before it can have the trigger pulled, and Carolina has to reload. Bouncing puck at center ice will be chipped at by Stankoven.
Gostisbehere, who killed part of that penalty, usually doesn't. Walker was in the box. Dmitry Orlov always does a fine job killing penalties. He just created that opportunity for Stankoven with that middle lane drive on a 3-on-2.
Larkin tries to play it around Burns. It'll bounce to DeBrincat. Larkin sneaks behind the defense. Now he'll settle. There's a shot off the post. Second chance by Sherratt with a follow. He'll score. Ben Sherratt reads the play and hammers his 4th goal of the season as Kochetkov trying to get over, and a great shot by the Red Wing defenseman. It's 1-0 Detroit.
DeBrincat really created this whole thing. This is a huge goal for Detroit because Carolina got, for me, a lot of momentum on the power play. Larkin puts it into an area where DeBrincat can always read the tea leaves offensively. It catches the post, but this is the right time for Ben Sherratt to jump. And he does so, and it's a smart shot because Kochetkov is trying to recover and locate, and he fires it in the opposite direction of Kochetkov's movement. That's a big-time goal for the Red Wings because really it was a nothing power play because Carolina's kill was so good. That's a bump-up shift. Big goal. And Larkin, DeBrincat, Sherratt factor in.
Now Carolina finds themselves down a goal, approaching the halfway point of the first period. There's Sherratt. He'll send it for Raymond. Raymond bounces into the boards and bounces out with a puck. You play this one back into the corner. Aho trying to move it around. He does. A Raymond out in front. Second chance, they'll score. Marco Kasper to the rebound after the initial save on the Raymond offering. Trickled to the other side of the net. And it's 2-0 Detroit.
You have to give the Red Wings a lot of credit because just when they could have lost a ton of life after their power play, they've had two big bump-up shifts. Aho lost his footing below the goal line. There was puck support. Kasper, the eventual goal scorer, angles perfectly and allows the puck support from Raymond to materialize. Then he goes right to the front of the net. Kasper has an unbelievably bright future. He's a detailed player, was part of Detroit's first goal in Raleigh. Carolina eventually won the game. And it was his detail there at the end, going backhand, forehand that extends the lead.
And it's 2 goals in 26 seconds. As Detroit has a 2-0 lead. And a bouncing puck in the Kane zone will be taken over here by Jankowski. They send this in. Jost wants to get to it behind the net. In the corner, they'll go for Hall. Hall plays it up along the boards. Morrow gaps up. Scott Morrow. He'll turn his long drive, but that'll be caught and hung on to by Talbot. 9:49 left in the first. 2 quick strikes as Detroit leading Carolina 2-0.
Hey, Caniacs. As the official security partner of the Carolina Hurricanes, the local team at Vector Security is committed to protecting homes and businesses across the Research Triangle. Our families live here and contribute to our communities, so we have a vested interest in keeping the homes and businesses of our neighbors safe and secure. Visit vectorsecurity.com/canes for a free home or business security assessment. That's vectorsecurity.com/canes.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
Mike Maniscalco here, and I'm hanging out with my good friend Paul Auclair, the owner of Deep River Brewing Company and proud sponsor of your Carolina Hurricanes. Paul, tell us a little bit about Deep River Brewing Company.
Deep River Brewing Company is located at 700 West Main Street in historic downtown Clayton, North Carolina. Our brewery and tap room are open Wednesday through Sunday. We have 12 beers on tap and food trucks on site daily.
And you can find Deep River beer at local bottle shops, restaurants, and grocery stores. If you don't find Deep River at your local watering hole, make sure to ask for it by name. And remember, drink local.
Here is our first option. Would you rather have a piece of pizza or a Detroit Tigers signed baseball?
Back inside. And we got a thing to look at here. It's your Liberty Mutual Insurance crease coverage. And how good has Frederick Anderson been covering the crease?
Well, underrated in the game against Washington. The first save you saw prevented Washington from going up 1-0. Walker quickly made it 1-0 Carolina. His best save of the night on Ovechkin. When Washington had their best push, finding the post and making that big stop on Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Underrated. He has been outstanding. That was an underrated effort to clinch the playoffs.
He is on the longest consecutive winning streak right now for goaltenders in the NHL at 7, and need a microscope to see the numbers. when it comes to the goals against average. He has been brilliant for the Canes. With a back-to-back here, this is offside here on Carolina. A chance to take a look at the Red Wings bench.
Yeah, Todd McClellan has to be very happy that his team didn't sag after that early power play at 0-0. Now they have a 2-0 lead. They're in a tough spot, more than anything, because the way Marty St. Louis Montreal Canadiens are playing, who they'll play on the road shortly, just trying to hang around. They played well against the red-hot St. Louis Blues the other night, lost the lead late in regulation, then in overtime, St. Louis won.
Yeah, those are one of those stingers where they give up a goal under 20 seconds. Although the Blues on an unbelievable hot streak right now. Winners of 11 in a row. This is wrapped around the Red Wing zone. Canes trying to find a way to get on the board here. Down 2-0 with 9:10 remaining here in the first period. Stankoven will chase after this one. They're going to stick to it. It'll pop along the boards, and it'll pop free and Comfer. He's angled off by Gostisbehere. And that'll allow Morrow to send this one forward for Martinook. They'll get this one around the boards. Sherratt with it. He looks to clear. Chatfield gaps up. And the Red Wings find some space, and Craig Smith into the Cane zone. And to go rink wide, and Will for Sider, who jumps into the play. Canes into the corner with it. Aho helps it up for Jarvis. He'll find his way back to the Cane centerman, Sebastian Aho. And for Sebastian Aho, as his fourth 70-point season of his career. Not too shabby out of 9 years to get over 70 points for number 20. As now it's work free, and here comes Aho looking for more, feathered across, and can't get the shot away, and Detroit's going to scurry with it. And with an opportunity, that long drive goes high and wide.
DeBrincat's a good defensive player. He's the one that gets a stick on that pass that would have been a grade A. Then off he goes the other way. Already has an assist. He's a good defensive player.
They'll take the puck away. This one comes back. And that shot by Hall goes just wide with a deflection. Patrick Kane will get to it. He tries to center it for DeBrincat. The bouncing puck will be picked up by Roslovic. And it'll bounce off of Kane and force Hall all the way back into his own zone. And he's watched there by Eric Robinson. Robinson waiting for something to happen. And Red Wings Raymond goes high off the glass over Slavin's head. Slavin goes all the way back, angles it for Burns. Now Hall. He tries to put it on Robinson's tape, but that's kicked by Jeff Petrie, the veteran. A loose puck comes free. Backhand chance by Kasper, and the answer by Kochetkov. That's a nice save for Pyotr Kochetkov.
Confidence-building save, hopefully. Soderblom, who scored a goal at that end of the rink the last time here, he's the one that sets it up with that play along the wall.
Now it's Burns. Across for Hall. Taylor Hall. Across for Roslovic. That'll be played away. And Edmondson tries to get this one for Bert Berggren. Berggren around the boards for Tarasenko. Now Comfer with it. JT Comfer has that knocked off of his stick and out of his zone. 6 minutes, 30 seconds left here in this first period. 2 goals, 26 seconds apart for the Red Wings. Now they're standing at 2-0. Now here's a chance for Comfer. He drags, save made. Kochetkov rebound comes free, but the Canes are able to bat it out.
It's another boosting stop for Kochetkov. Another Russian. Tarasenko made the nice play along the wall in the neutral zone to create it.
Now Sider with it. Oh, Sider cutting, tries the short side, but has that deflected off of Kochetkov over the glass into the netting. 6:03 left here in the first. Canes are down 2.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Canes fans, something big is happening this season. Our favorite hometown technology giant, Lenovo, is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle, and we're all getting in on the fun. Grab your jersey and meet us at the Lenovo Center, the new name of the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lenovo Center is just a slap shot away from Lenovo's headquarters in the Triangle. Come celebrate and cheer on the Canes this season at the Lenovo Center. Now, Jackson Blake has been a good bet, and he is tonight's Bet365 anytime goal scorer for your entertainment purposes, and a little bit more than that, plus 300 coming off his first ever 2-goal performance.
Very impressive plays. Watch him round the net after his seam pass. He's coming back in the screen, locates the puck. So there's some deception to it. And then after Jarvis wins a draw on his toes before the silky finish, forehand, backhand. So two different types of really impressive offensive moments.
He just continues to build as this year has moved along. 30 points, 14 goals, 16 assists. His first ever 3-point game. Followed it up with his first ever 2-goal offering, both of them on the power play, and now has 6 game-winning goals. He has tied our Shane Willis for rookie game-winning goals in a season with 6. He's just worried about getting a goal here right now, down 2-0 with 5 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the first period. As Walker tries to clear, kept in by Hall. Second chance to punch that out, but it'll be Larkin. That'll be deflected away. Excellent stick there by the Hurricanes' Jankowski, and then Martinick flips one in on Talbot, who'll catch and hang on.
That's the reach of Jankowski. When I talk about angling, let me explain it. Casper, who I think has an incredibly bright future, watch how he prevents with his route. He's angling. Aho can't go up the wall. He's forcing him behind the net because he's got support from Raymond, and then he's got a net drive, and then he gets to the front of the net to score. He prevented Sebastian Aho with his angling from coming up the wall. Put him in a tougher position, having to go behind the net where he had teammates there ready.
Aho will take this draw here. He'll get a little bit of help as he retrieves it, and Burns had it go over the blue line and brought it back in. Offside are the Hurricanes.
You know, truthfully, for me, this start is not altogether surprising. You know, I thought the Hurricanes came out of the gate well, and I've mentioned a couple of times the fact that Detroit didn't sag after that power play at 0-0. You know, but it's tough. You clinch the playoffs, and, you know, you're playing a team that is in do-or-die mode. Then when Detroit scores those 2 goals in a short period of time, if they're feeling pressure, they probably can relax a bit now, because this is their season on the line, hands down.
Yeah, the playoffs have started for Detroit, if they're going to get there. And these are games that they got to have. They feel when they're at home now. The Canes trying to center that one out in front for Aho. That'll be deflected. And Canes centerman trying to chase for it. It'll drop down. He'll send it to the side of the net. Talbot will paw that and will hang on. 4:56 left here in this first period. Canes trailing the Red Wings by 2.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
When you drive a vehicle so reliable it's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Visit your local Kia dealer today to see what you're capable of in a vehicle that inspires confidence around every corner. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available. Warranties include 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain and 5-year 60,000-mile basic. Warranties are limited. See retailer for details.
Hey Hurricanes fans, it's game day, and Harris Teeter knows your party is just as important as the game. With mouth-watering wings, delicious dips, pre-ordered party platters to please any crowd, and not to mention the best pizzas, ribs, and ready-to-grill pub burgers in town. Only Harris Teeter can deliver delicious as you huddle up with family and friends to celebrate. Set a reminder to order ahead if you need party platters, and make Harris Teeter your pregame stop before the next game. Harris Teeter, where Hurricanes fans shop for their delicious game day.
A look at the Eastern Conference standings. The Hurricanes, Capitals, and Maple Leafs have already clinched their playoff spots. And you get a look, they're the Red Wings. They're 6 points behind Montreal. Trip, you mentioned they've got a game against Montreal. And the great chase continues tonight in Washington. And Alexander Ovechkin has scored goal number 893 for his career. 3 minutes and 52 seconds into this game, his 40th of the season. He can tie or pass the great one tonight in the great chase. As the Canes win this draw in the Red Wing zone. Slavin lost an edge, got it in deep. Now nice play there by Aho to get it across for Jarvis. And sent around. And tipped out. Carolina tries to work it back in. And as you know that Alexander Ovechkin has had a flair for the dramatic.
My gut tells me that he's going to get it done before the Canes are there next Thursday.
My gut tells me he might get it done tonight with that early goal.
I think he hit 800 in a hat trick against the Chicago Blackhawks, who's playing tonight. And, just thinking about the Hurricanes, right now, if I'm to prioritize, it's in the remaining games. And the first one's uncontrollable. The guys will be in and out of the lineup. One, health. And then two, if you're fortunate enough to advance a couple of rounds, when you look at the Atlantic Division and Toronto leading that division, trying to finish as high as you can. And I'm thinking about the Washington game. You have tonight 2 more games to play before then. But with all the hubbub late in the game, I'm resting guys.
Yeah.
Because you want to give yourself the best chance on the health front. And we know what the conclusion of the game was Wednesday. That's 6 days from now. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Well, when the Canes play on the road, join Stormy and the gang at the Carolina Ale House. The next Canes Watch parties at the Cary location. Tuesday starts at 6:30 when the Canes take on the Buffalo Sabres. Carolina Ale House, the exclusive home for the Canes Watch parties on the road.
Well, Sabres, playing with freedom, maybe playing their best hockey of the season right now. This is going to be a tough 4-game swing. Desperate Detroit team tonight. Team that's lost 10 in a row, and you know how grizzled Boston will be, waiting in a back-to-back tomorrow, and Buffalo before Washington.
In a way, though, you got it like that is you're trying to match icings between both teams here right now. I just like that from the point trip where it forces you to play the game the right way, right? Where you're not going into a game and nobody has anything to play for.
Habits are everything, and the results typically take care of themselves. And the health part of it, so much of it is out of your hands, but you want to do everything you can control to help yourself on that front.
No, I'm with you on that. But the Canes trying to center this one. That'll be deflected out and find its way to Berggren. It's when you're putting new guys in the roster, in the lineup, like tonight, with Justin Robidoux making his NHL debut. You want them to, this is how we play, this is the expectation, it's what you do, and you know that the man behind the bench for the Carolina Hurricanes expects nothing less no matter what the game is.
And I'm not running from you. Want to finish as high as you can, because if you're in the Eastern Conference Final, you want to be at home to begin. When you look at the logjam there, Carolina, Toronto, depending on how Tampa and Florida finish. But I put the health ahead of that.
Sure.
Because the Hurricanes, they haven't had luck on their side with staying healthy in the playoffs. You hope this year they will.
Now Burns trying to stick handle his way through. He'll have that lost, and his pass up for Larkin. Larkin tries to center it. Kochetkov will get a stick to it. Slow down for Coach Kaniemi. To the blue line, not out. And Sider kept it in. Now Martinook will get a stick to it. And the other thing is, you and I both well know, Trip, every year in the NHL playoffs, there is an upset in the first round. Every year. So You want that home ice. As Larkin gets a shot away, and Kochetkov will hang on.
And I want to see him attack with his hands. Do you see his hands on that shot? You know, I've talked about it so much with Anderson, with whether your stick attacks or your hands attack in front of you. He had to make that more challenging than he needed to because his glove was right stationary, you know, in line with his body. You want those gloves well in front of you. And no real chance on either goal. I mean, Sherratt's is off the post in after a post shot, and then the really good Detroit forecheck on the Casper goal.
Now Robidoux wins the face-off. And the Kings can get this out. It'll be worked into the zone where Petrie will turn. Chatfield gaps up there on Mott, who's able to get this one away for Edvinsson. Simon Edvinsson goes across. Good stick by Chatfield. And the Kings can chip this one out to center ice. And an opportunity for the Canes. It'll have to be turned back the other way. Jankowski goes all the way back, launched by Rasmussen. Michael Rasmussen plays that one off the short side, and Kochetkov will catch and hang on.
Whatever the score is, this is extremely important for Kochetkov. The duration of this hockey game. He's had a couple of good moments since Casper made it 2-0. You want every opportunity to have implicit trust in both your goaltenders in the postseason. We know Anderson has brilliantly separated himself.
Now this played along the boards in the Kane zone. It'll be out, hammered back in by Sider. That forces Detroit to tag up. They will. And they're back onside. They can watch Jacob Slavin make a long stretch pass out of the zone. That'll be deflected by Jarvis. Detroit will get to it as it not in deep. And Soderblom will give it away for Aho. Aho plays it in. Blake will get to it first. Blake behind the net. He'll step out, turn, centering attempt. And come back along the boards. Settled down by Slavin. And he's looking for a redirect. That goes off the end boards, kicked away by Talbot. And then going over the net and through the zone. And Detroit, that one will come all the way back into the Canes end. Nice play made by Slavin. Away from Elmer Soderblom. Hall. And work this is when the last minute of play here in the opening period. Canes trailing 2-0.
The Aho line and featuring Jarvis. They've been their best.
This will be deflected, and Tarasenko tried to make a move a little too much, and the Canes coming back the other way. This rolled in on Talbot. He'll kick it off the end boards. Finds its way for Edvinsson, up for Tarasenko. He plays it around Morrow. Comfer, though, can't play it away from Gostisbehere. Nice little move there by Gostisbehere. Wanted to find Robinson, but Tarasenko sends this one for Berggren. We're going to the corner for it. Berggren around the boards, 20 seconds left. Played back by Edvinsson for Kane. He goes deep with it, but too deep. Gostisbehere with it. Canes will go cross corner. Roslovic chugging after it. Tries to sidestep Edvinsson. Loose puck out in front with 4 seconds left. Detroit will get a stick to it. Chatfield keeps it in. A long drive deflected and just misses the far post. And that is how the first period comes to a close. Well, we will hear from the Canes rookie making his NHL debut, Justin Robidoux, with Hannah Yates coming up. We will find out a little bit more about the Canes as Jackson Blake has been in the middle of a mic check. In your first period highlights coming up, Canes trail by 2.
Good job by Detroit in that first period of play.
Shots on goal in the opening period brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevrolet dealers. Put it in D and CY. Chevy drives the Motor City. Both teams, 7 shots on goal.
And the Wings just much stronger defensively now these last 3 games against the Boston Bruins, against the St. Louis Blues, and tonight against these Carolina Hurricanes.
Wings scoring twice in a 16-second span, Ben Sherratt and Marco Casper. And for the most part, the Red Wings played pretty well in front of their goaltender, as Carolina really didn't have many good scoring, grade A scoring chances.
Well, I think all 4 lines are being active in the offensive zone and putting some pressure on the Carolina defense. Depleted blue line for the Hurricanes and Ron DeBrindamore, but again, it takes the pressure off the defense and off the goaltender Cam Talbot, especially when you're playing against Carolina. You just can't seem to get that 5-man game going. They did a couple of times in the opening period, but Usually it's shift after shift, so a good job of the Wings not allowing that to happen.
Good forechecking pressure by the Red Wings, too, in that opening period. And I think back the last 2 times the Red Wings played Carolina, it seemed like they were able to get that puck quickly out to center ice out of their own zone. Red Wings doing a good job of bottling up in their own zone and making them work to get it out.
Well, just everybody in the lineup. Justin Hall was good with Johansson, Edmondson, and Petrie had a good first period. Sider, Ben Trott got a goal, and then all 4 forward lines up at front. Spent time in offensive zone, and good work by Craig Smith, Tyler Mott, and Michael Rasmussen on that 4th line.
Fans, the Florida Panthers coming your way Sunday, April 6th. We need you to bring Hockeytown Heat to Little Caesars Arena for this battle. Hurry and score your tickets before it's too late at DetroitRedWings.com/tickets.
Every time they play, they just come out on the wrong end of it right now. It's been a bit of a slump, but again, they're missing 2 of their top 4 defensemen. Dmitry Kulikov, he's got over 1,000 games. He's injured right now. And Eric Blackblad, who's been suspended by the NHL. So those are 2 very important players not ready back to the blue line. Matthew Tkachuk's been out for a long time. We're starting to feel the effects of that. But once they get everybody back in that line, don't underestimate the Florida Panthers come playoff season.
Well, Paul, 2 big points on the table. Red Wings 6 points out of that final playoff spot. They've got that 2-0 lead.
You know, I'm just thinking back, like last night again, Linus Ullmark for Ottawa. Won the game 2-1 against Tampa Bay. They're outshot 2-1 by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they still win that game. But Linus Ullmark for the, I was going to say Boston Bruins for Ottawa, who came over after playing for Boston last year. But he has been sensational. He's had a shaky start with this new team, Ottawa, but he has been sensational the last 20 games, propelling his team up to that number 1 wildcard spot.
We're in the first intermission here on this Friday night at Little Caesars Arena as the Red Wings have a 2-0 lead over the Carolina Hurricanes. First period break brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first. And in our 1-800 studios tonight is Mark Ryan. He's coming up next. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving a good deal more when you shop with M-Perks at Meijer. Some delicious blueberries, money saved. A creamy treat of cookie dough ice cream, that's money saved. Savings, savings, savings. Because every dollar spent is also 10 points earned in M-Perks, which you can use to save on your next grocery trip or up to $1 off per gallon on your next tank of gas. At Meijer, we work hard to help you save a good deal more for a whole lot less. That's bringing more good to life. Exclusions apply. See mperks.com for details.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable. Silverado. Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. Chevy, official vehicle of the Detroit Red Wings.
After beating colon cancer, I'm turning setbacks into comebacks. I am Henry.
I'm pain-free and at full strength after spine surgery. I am Henry.
A life-saving delivery ensured my shift could continue. I am Henry.
When you need care to get you back on your game, trust the only care team chosen as the official team physicians for the Detroit Red Wings. Henry Ford Health. We are Henry.
Paying rent can feel like throwing money away. And when you're spending so much, it can be hard to see yourself buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is helping you put your monthly rent towards home ownership with Rent Rewards. For the first time, save up to $5,000 off the cost of your first home just by paying rent. Only at Rocket Mortgage. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Hey, it's Ken Cal, voice of the Red Wings. There's a homegrown squad that's been around even longer than the Wings. Rose Pest Solutions turned pro over 160 years ago and has dominated pests ever since. Rose safeguards your home or business against pests like bedbugs, cockroaches, rodents, and spiders. Their technicians are also equipped to meet all safety regulations. That's why Rose is an official partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call Rose at 800-966-ROSE or go to rosepestsolutions.com.
Live from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studio. That's what we're talking about, Red Wings fans. It's time for your scoring summary brought to you by Dynatrace. Cloud done right. Red Wings lead the Carolina Hurricanes 2-0.
after 1. 8 games to go, 6 points down in the playoff standings to the Montreal Canadiens. Every game, seemingly, and possibly quite literally, is a must-win game right now. But the good news is Detroit got out early. Detroit got out often against a team that has beaten them 7 of the last 8 outings. Getting the Red Wings going, lighting the lamp for the first time on the evening was Ben Sherratt, his 4th of the year, assisted by Alex DeBrincat and Dylan Larkin.
Here's Larkin in the right circle. DeBrincat with a shot, and he hit the goal post. Rebound chance. This time Sherratt scores. And the Red Wings lead 1-0.
It's always such a downer when you hit the post, isn't it? Because you feel like that's going to be your chance. Ben Sherratt had other ideas. How about just 26 seconds later? He might be a friendly ghost, but not so much to Carolina. It's Marco Kasper with goal number 16.
Kasper now trying to knock it away. Here's Raymond with a centering attempt. Backhand, Kasper scores! 2 quick ones for the Red Wings. Marco Kasper makes it 2-0 Detroit.
Soderblom with an assist. Lucas Raymond, the Red Wings point leader, has an assist as well on that play. His 48th of the year. No scoring for the Carolina Hurricanes. And the must-win Wings lead it 2-0 after 1. Shots even at 7. Face-offs, big advantage for the Hurricanes there. 73.9%, 17 face-offs won to just 6. Hits on the day, 7-1, so Detroit out-physicaling a very physical, defensive-minded team in Carolina as well. 9 giveaways in a sloppy first period for Carolina there. Coming your way next, we will sit down with a Red Wing player that might have his eyes on my job when his playing days are done. That, my friends, is next. My name is Mark Ryan. You're listening to the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
Huddle up, sports fans. If you're in the market for a new home loan or refi, here's a winning game plan. Start at mortgagematchup.com. We'll connect you with an expert right in your area. Now, that's like getting your own first-round draft pick. And your home loan expert will deliver an experience that's faster, cheaper, and easier than going to a big bank or online lender. Go to mortgagematchup.com today. Powered by United Wholesale Mortgage LLC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 3038. Licensed in all 50 states and the District of Columbia.
North Brothers Ford knows how to build a winning team. They've won the prestigious President's Award over 23 times and has conducted successful businesses for over 87 years. They've assembled the best league-leading selection of F-150s, Broncos, Expeditions, Mustangs, and more. Their certified sales staff provide the ultimate customer service, and highly trained technicians ensure you get the very most life out of your vehicle. Score big today with the only Ford dealership on Ford Road in Westland. North Brothers Ford.
At the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, we live by the golden rule. Treat everyone who calls like they're someone's friend, family, or loved one. When you call, we listen. We get started on your case. And we're Michigan's only firm to offer the no-fee guarantee. You don't pay until we win. Treating you like family, because that's how you deserve to be treated. That's the Bernstein Advantage. The Sam Bernstein Law Firm. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm. Michigan's first family of law.
Roofman for all your roofing needs for 3 generations. Go to roofmanusa.com or call 734-662-3300.
Live from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studio, Red Wings over the Carolina Hurricanes 2-0. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify
the biggest games in the world.
Ovechkin fires! He scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Well, I'll tell you what. What's become must-viewing, must-listening for me is a podcast known as The Conversation Line. Ken Cal, Daniela Bruce, Red Wings players, coaches are on it quite frequently. This week, the guest for Ken Cal was none other than Austin Watson, who is known as being quite a tough cookie. The Red Wings left winger has a really good sense of humor, a really good sense of self, and a really troubling, for me, desire to possibly delve into the media front when all is said and done in his playing career. Here is Ken Cal with Austin Watson on The Conversation Line.
And I'm joined with a very special guest today, Austin Watson. And out of all the players that I actually want to talk to, when I had a chance to do this interview with you, Austin, it's like, all right, because your personality is like unlike anybody else. I mean, it's a pleasure having you here.
I appreciate it. It's good to be on with you. I don't know, maybe at the end of some long days, you guys might have a different opinion on my personality and vocalizing just about everything, but yeah, it normally comes across pretty good.
You know, you came up from Grand Rapids, and I was just excited, and every time I saw you walking off the morning skate or getting on the bus, you're always talking with different people, you're yucking it up with everybody. I mean, is that part of your DNA? Because it seems like you're always enjoying talking to people.
You know what, it must be, because I don't think of it. I just kind of do. You know, but it's a privilege to play in this league and to travel around and to meet so many different people. I think, you know, if you talk to people, one of the coolest things is the relationships that you build and the people that you get to meet along the way, right? So no point in letting time pass without asking guys some questions, busting them up a little bit. And, you know, everybody has different roles, right? So, you know, some of the big boys, they play a lot of minutes, they get a little bit more tired. You know, I'm playing less minutes and have a different role. So, you know, to bring a little bit of energy and juice to the situation is kind of something that, you know, I can provide, and, you know, something that you can take off different guys' plates as well.
You know, I think of Kevin Hodson. He was a goaltender here for many years, and he was a backup goaltender in his career, but he always kept the locker room loose. Are you one of those guys?
I think so. I think, you know, whether it's loose, there's some timing to everything as well, right? There's different situations that go on, whether it be a practice day or during the game. And, you know, I feel like I have a good feel for it about just kind of where the room is at and kind of what the situation is. So, you know, something about you really kind of have to pay attention to what's going on. And, you know, it's funny, again, you know, playing a little bit less minutes than other guys, to stay engaged, and like I know exactly what's going on in the game at all times. You know what's happening, what the feel is, and you kind of have to just play off that. You know, there's times to be where you need to be a little bit more loose, but then there's also times where, you know, you need to buckle up a little bit, and you can vocalize that as well. So just depends on the situation, depends on what the feel is, and you know, I feel like I have a good sense for what that is.
Hockey players always enjoy a good joke, and it seems like there's a lot of practical jokers out there. Any experience with practical jokes in the locker room?
Not a big practical joker. I kind of I don't want to call it self-demeaning, but like a lot of times guys will say they probably get a laugh for the stuff that I either do or say that's not really intended to be a joke, just kind of my day-to-day process. I'm not huge on, I don't have jokes for you. Probably the best guy with jokes I've ever played with is Nick Paul, who's in Tampa. When we play together in Ottawa, he can pull a joke at any time of the day. He recycles them a good bit too, so guys that have been with him a little while, you'll be like, hey, come on, we've already heard this one about 10 times. But there's some guys that are good with jokes. I'm just kind of, I might be just running commentary, and most of the time guys find it hilarious.
Do you ever think after your career you might want to get into radio or TV or anything like that?
It depends on what the pay is.
There you go, you're honest.
Oh yeah, you know, you don't really know exactly. I guess I think guys maybe nowadays are a little bit more dialed in and tuned with kind of the post-playing career and kind of planning for that. You know, for me, I like being around the game, so doing something in the game for sure. You know, to your point, I feel like I do well with kind of everybody. I can kind of blend in, you know, with, you know, top guys, young guys, bottom six guys, whatever it is. So I don't know if it's coaching or what it is, but I definitely want to go into something.
Austin Watson and Ken Cal on the conversation line. Of course, your first period intermission discussion brought to you by Meijer, proud hometown partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Coming up next in our out-of-town scoreboard, history is in our sights. Mark Ryan here on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
The McLaren Proton Therapy Center at the Karmanos Cancer Institute offers the most powerful and precise radiation oncology treatment available. Using the latest generation technology, we're able to deliver high doses of radiation to the exact size and shape of your tumor while avoiding surrounding healthy tissue and organs. That means we can eliminate cancer with an unmatched precision, resulting in fewer side effects and improved outcomes for patients. To learn more, visit mclaren.org/proton therapy.
Wings fans, skate into bliss this season with Carbliss, the no-carb, no-sugar, 100-calorie premium vodka cocktail. With power play flavors like black raspberry, pineapple, cranberry, and lemon lime, there's a Carbliss flavor for everyone. Find ice-cold Carbliss at Little Caesars Arena all season long, at retailers near you, and at drinkcarbliss.com. Carbliss, an official ready-to-drink cocktail of your Detroit Red Wings.
Wings fans looking for the best poker? Well, the puck stops here. PokerStars is America's #1 poker app. With more games, more players, more chances to win, and the most generous rewards program in the game. New customers get $100 in free play. Download the app and sign up today. 21 plus and present in Michigan. Opt-in and poker wager required within 5 days of sign-up. Bonus issued is not withdrawable poker tournament tickets and casino site credit that expires in 7 days. See terms at pokerstars.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for confidential help.
This is the best news you'll hear all day. Little Caesars has a large 2-topping pizza for $5.99. This deal sounds so good, it's even making your ears hungry.
He's right. They're hungry.
Listen to those honkers on your head and get this amazing deal of a 2-topping pizza for $5.99 from Little Caesars when you order online. For a limited time, online only, participating Little Caesars stores. Excludes third-party sites. Enter promo code TOPTHIS at checkout to get a custom round pizza. Excludes thin crust, deep dish, stuffed crust, stuffed crazy crust, plus tax where applicable.
Pizza. Save time every time when you use online check-in for a great haircut at Great Clips. Proud partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Download our app or check in online at greatclips.com. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Live from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studio, time for your out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. Buy, sell, finance, and save. Wild and Islanders scoreless in the early going in the first. And how about this? Alexander Ovechkin is 40th of the year. Blackhawks and Capitals tied 1-1. He is now 1 away from tying the Great One, 2 away from beating the Great One. How about that? As we send it back to Ken Cowell and Paul Woods, gentlemen, thrilled to see the effort in a must-win game for the Winged Wheels thus far this evening.
Well, you're right about that, Mark. And, boy, Ovechkin, maybe he could do it today, Paul, against those Chicago Blackhawks.
I think the Washington Capital fans would like to see it end that way. But, again, he's got, I think, another pretty good opponent to play against. He has another chance. So here come the Wings to start the second period as Tarasenko drops it in there.
Red Wings scoring twice, 26 seconds apart. And here's a pass right out in front. Kochetkov knocked it away, and the puck comes out to center ice and rolled into the Detroit end.
John Janberg, and he liked that one back. And that was another brilliant cross-ice pass with the veteran forward Vladimir Tarasenko, known more for his scoring than his passing.
Kotkaniemi dumped it up the right wing wall. It comes out to center ice, following up Gostisbehere. 3-on-2 over the Red Wing line. Fanned on the shot. Now it's poked by Seider, wide to the left goal post. Raymond scooping it up, blocked right there by Taylor Hall. Stankoven trying to jam it away from that long reach of Soderblom. He's tied up. Good play by Elmer. Now the Red Wings will pick it up as Seider lifts it ahead to Elmer. Soderblom at center, and he'll dump it off the stick of Raymond to Kochetkov.
That's when you have to have big, strong power forwards, can win those battles against the boards. He did that time Soderblom against Stankoven, who's a very good player, but probably half the size of Elmer Soderblom.
Stretch pass off the stick of Marco Kasper. Kochetkov laid it back behind his own goal. Now a centering attempt off the stick of Soderblom. Hall didn't clear it out. Soderblom with a slapper from the blue line. That one wide of the goal.
It's a long but effective shift for Elmer Soderblom.
Out to center ice it comes. Racing over the Detroit line. That is Walker to dump it into the right corner. Going in after it, Mark Jankowski. 2-0 Red Wings early in the second period. Fresh sheet of ice. Wings are attacking left to right. Seth Jarvis deep into his own zone. Bounced it around the end boards to Jalen Chatfield, who will lift it out to center ice. Now it's Jankowski banging it to the side of the Red Wing goal. Scooping up the puck behind his own net. Turning it over. Edmondson pass in front. Blake scores. And that's how quickly things can happen. You turn it over. Blake picked the upper right-hand corner. And now it's the Wings 2 and Carolina 1.
A rare mistake by Justin Hall. He rarely makes those kind of plays. He picked up that puck. He tried to make a dangerous pass to the middle of the ice, intercepted by the Carolina Hurricanes, and Blake just let it go quickly. No chance for Cam Talbot to get set. Big goal for the Hurricanes early in the second period. It's 2-1 Detroit.
That goal by Jackson Blake, number 15 on the season. It comes at 1 minute and 57 seconds of the second period. Kid's got a pretty good shot. He threaded the needle right there.
He's a dangerous guy. Again, he's not a big guy, but he's a very effective player. He's got 15 goals in the season. That was Seth Jarvis who actually made the play. He intercepted the pass by Justin Hall and quickly sent it to Jackson Blake, who made no mistake up high, past the glove of Cam Talbot.
Icing called against the Hurricanes. Face-off coming up circled to the right of Pyotr Kochetkov as the Red Wings go in for the face-off. 1-goal lead now, 2-1 Detroit.
You know, I saw that in the replay, and that wasn't an easy play by Seth Jarvis. He actually knocked that puck out of midair with one hand and a stick and then made the pass right in the tape to Jackson Blake to generate the chance.
Wings with a draw on the slot. Here's Raymond with a shot, and he whistled a wrister wide of the goal.
He didn't miss by much. Plenty of times Wings won the face-off. Good job there again by Marco Kasper.
Jarvis outlets it ahead to Sebastian Aho through the Red Wing logo at center. Dumped it over on the right side to Blake in the corner. Fires it around the board. Slavin with a shot. That one's off a skate into the corner. Soderblom to pick it up, and then he turned it over to Blake. In front, Jarvis with a chance, and he fired that one wide. He was open out in front of the Red Wing goal. Didn't get it on target. That was a quick developing play down low. Raymond bumping it up the right wing boards. Down the ice it goes, and icing is called against Detroit. We played 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the second period. Blake putting the Hurricanes on the board. It's the Red Wings 2 and Carolina 1.
And back-to-back good scoring chances. Seth Jarvis right to back up there. It was all along the slot area. Let it to go, and that's the save of the game right there for Cam Talbot. Used that blocker to keep his team in a 1-goal lead. The Wings have got to get it going quickly now in this second period. Momentum definitely has shifted. Carolina wins the draw.
Hurricanes have qualified for a playoff spot. Long shot by Gostisbehere from the blue line. A turnaround chance, and that one off a stick wide of the goal. Up the right wing boards, Gostisbehere couldn't hold it in. Comes out to Soderblom, now feed pass breaking in all alone. Here's Lucas Raymond, and Kochetkov made the pad save. Breakaway for Raymond, and he was stopped by Kochetkov, the goaltender.
What a great play through the neutral zone by Elmer Soderblom, getting the puck past 3 different defenders for a clear-cut breakaway by Lucas Raymond. But Raymond made lots of different moves back and forth, but Kochetkov stayed with him move for move, able to make that pad save.
Robinson offside up across the Red Wing blue line, and he had time to figure out what he was going to do. Lucas Raymond right there, and tried to put it between the pads of Kochetkov, who came up with the save. Face off in front of the penalty box out at center ice. Kotkaniemi in for the draw against Tyler Mott. Mott wins it cleanly. We can settle it down as Sherratt got it to Sider, now to Craig Smith, and he'll hammer it in behind the Carolina goal. Chatfield bumped it up the right wing boards. Now a feed pass out to center ice. Kotkaniemi in over the blue line, cuts inside, drops it back. Stankoven with a shot, short side wide of the goal.
Kotkaniemi made a good play that time, pushed back the Red Wing defense, had no intention of going through there himself, dropped it back off to Stankoven, who just had missed that top corner.
Trying to work it free, finally poke it ahead to center ice, and now it's stolen. They come back in over the blue line. Pass over on the near side, broken up, and it came out to center ice. And now it's shot back into the Detroit zone by the Hurricanes. Smith bumped it in behind the Red Wing goal. 2-1 lead for Detroit. Mo Sider in the near corner, plays it away from Kotkaniemi to Sherratt. Now to Berggren, bumped it ahead center ice. Off of Mott, deflects deeper into the corner in the Red Wing end. Taylor Hall in after it in the corner, but Sider popped it away from him. Now Sherratt outlets it up the left side, comes out to center ice. Berggren 2-on-1 over the line with Smith. Here's Berggren moving in, shoots the puck off the glove of Kochetkov, off the side glass, and now out to center ice.
Good play again by Ben Sherratt. He picked up a goal back in the opening of period, and a good breakout pass by him, and he's quickly back on the attack.
Shot from the blue line, taken by Albert Johansson, gloved off by Kochetkov, top of the goal crease. And uncharacteristically, the Red Wings are having a couple of breakaway, odd man opportunity, and normally those are plays that are covered by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Well, again, they've got some injured players, and Dmitry Orlov, the big miss back him at the blue line. Jordan Stahl up front, the captain, the center iceman. He guy can get the third and fourth lines going, so they got some key players out, but getting close to that 100-goal game plateau, 100-point plateau. Another productive season for Rod Brindamore and his team.
7th consecutive season that the Hurricanes have qualified for the Stanley Cup playoffs. All over the blue line, trying to cut between defenders. Here's Johansson trickling up to Tarasenko, broken up, played deeper into the corner. Jankowski bumped it now as Hall lips it back in the line to Burns. Burns fires a shot, a wrister wide of the goal. Jankowski dumped it in behind the goal, knocked down. It's Johansson by Roslovic. Roslovic with a backhand try, now gets it again, rolls it around the boards, and Slavin tapped it around the opposite way. Quick feet, comes back in the line. Jankowski with a shot blocked. And it popped up into the air, into the corner. Hurricanes buzzing in the Red Wing zone, trying to tie it up here in the second. Pass shot out in front. Knocked away by Talbot. Burns got it to the right circle. Pass across to Roslovic, broken up, but still held in by Slavin, who dumps it around the boards and behind the Red Wing goal. Comper will pick it up for Detroit, backhanded up the wall. Tarasenko to chop that puck out of harm's way, but this will be an icing call against Detroit as Carolina was buzzing in that Red Wing end.
The locker room must have been buzzing with Rod Brindamore and his team. Looked like a totally different group here in the second period because of that good shift in the offensive zone. The icing call, 5 tired players on the ice for the Red Wings. We've got to win this face-off now. Very important.
Most goals by NHL rookies since January 1st. Marco Kasper has 14. He leads everybody. Michkov 12, Bolduc 11, Gauthier 10, and Celebrini of San Jose 9.
Well, think about him. It's just not the offensive play. Carolina wins the draw.
Walker with a shot. Talbot the save. That was a hard wrister by Walker.
And Talbot's been busy and good here in the second period.
Jarvis. Penalty coming up to Detroit as he had a stick held on the play. He goes after it in the corner. They get the goaltender Kochetkov off. And finally touched by Comfer in the near circle. And now the Red Wings will be getting the gate. And a power play opportunity for the Carolina Hurricanes to try and tie it up.
Could be a high sticking the call against the Detroit. That's what happens. You get tired back inside your blue line out there for too long. It's Albert Johansson, their outstanding young defenseman, who's in the penalty box for high sticking.
We'll be back with that Carolina power play in a moment. 13:58 to go, second period. It's the Wings 2 and Carolina 1. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey.
If you're looking for a meaningful career with lots of room to grow, both professionally and personally, consider UWM. We're one of the largest companies in Michigan, big enough to offer impactful roles in a wide range of specialties. But you'll also find a community of fellow team members ready to welcome, train, and support you. So no matter what stage you're at in your career, you'll find your fit at UWM. Check out UWMcareers.com and apply today.
We are Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. For over 70 years, Feiger Law has been your hometown team of trial lawyers for auto crashes, truck accidents, birth trauma, and injuries due to medical malpractice. Let our team of homegrown trial lawyers win big for you. Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
Hey, hockey fans, get ready to launch your game day experience to another dimension with Tangerine Space Machine, the out-of-this-world hazy IPA brewed by our friends at New Holland Brewing in Holland, Michigan. Tangerine Space Machine is a can of intergalactic hazy goodness that is smooth, easy drinking, and just the right kick of citrus. And if you love Tangerine Space Machine, don't miss out on the cosmic flavors of Peach Space Machine, both available throughout Little Caesars Arena and featured at the New Holland Bar inside the 1701 pub on the mezzanine level outside Portal 57. Let's go Wings.
Defenseman off for high sticking at 6:02. First power play of the game for Carolina, 2-1 Detroit. Red Wing penalty kill brought to you by Corewell Health. No matter the challenge, the response is always the same: we can. 23rd on the power play this season. Chatfield make that Gostisbehere with a shot that's blocked before it got to Talbot. Rolls into the corner. Sent around to the left point. Jarvis holds it in, out of Burns, back to Jarvis, moves in, top of the left circle. Shoots the puck, kick pad, saved by Talbot. Rebound, Jarvis picks it out of a pile. Moves it back on the line to Gostisbehere, middle of the blue line. Out of Jarvis, left face-off circle to Gostisbehere. His long shot, pad save, Talbot again. Back to the blue line, it comes to Jarvis again. Moves it down low, power move by Blake in front, rolled off his stick and now ends up into the corner. Wings fail to clear it out, held in by Gostisbehere again. Now pumped it down low, right circle feed, Taylor Hall into the far corner. picked off, played back on the line to Gostisbehere again. Right circle feed, Aho with a shot, and Talbot made the save. Held in at the line by Gostisbehere. They're getting their chances right here. 2-1 Red Wings, but the Hurricanes threatening on the power play. Jarvis with a shot left circle, and that one over the top of the goal. The rebound off the boards down the ice.
The reason they got him, Shane Gostisbehere, they struggled in the playoffs last year against the New York Rangers for a lack of a power play, and that is his specialty. Outstanding power play by Carolina, and the Wings fortunate the game has not tied it to a pace.
Simon Edmondson popped it out to center ice. Jarvis quickly makes his way in. Got it over to Stankoven, quickly to the line to Walker, now to Burns. Burns settles it down, now to Walker, long shot. Talbot, the glove save with Jarvis on the doorstep. 27 seconds left in the penalty to Johansson of Detroit.
Look at those shot totals exploding for Carolina in the second period. Now up to 17 shots on goal. Most of them, the good scoring chances came in that power play situation.
Tonight's second period is brought to you by the Jack Demmer Automotive Group. Jack Demmer Ford and Jack Demmer Lincoln. Discover the Demmer difference.
Still 27 seconds left in that minor penalty. Albert Johansson, big face-off coming up the right of Talbot. JT Compher will take it for the Red Wings. Kotkaniemi was going to take it. He got kicked out of the face-off circle.
Rozovic will take it for the Carolina Hurricanes. Wings win the draw, and the puck comes around the boards.
He's a much improved player, that Jack Rozovic. I remember when we booked him with Winnipeg, and he went to Columbus Blue Jackets. He's from Ohio, but he's really developed now as a member of the Carolina Hurricanes.
12:10 to play, second period, 2-1 lead for the Red Wings. Back into the power play for the Hurricanes. Stankoven wheels it down into the corner. Now pass out in front, skips out to center ice. Racing for Lucas Raymond, who had a breakaway already in the period, dumping it into the corner. Penalty is over. Johansson races over to the Red Wing bench, and the Wings are at full strength. Early on, they had some chances, could not dent the armor of Cam Talbot. Still a one-goal lead for Detroit, 2-1 here in the second. Burns backhands it up the wall, out to center ice. Larkin will dump it back in. Tagging up is DeBrincat as the Hurricanes. Burns steers it out to Stankoven. Tapped it up across the Red Wing blue line. Sherratt sends the puck around the far boards. Trying to dig it loose. That's Dylan Larkin. Moves it in behind the Red Wing goal to Mo Sider. Kane ahead to Sherratt, now to Larkin up across the blue line. Larkin into the corner, feathers it around the boards to DeBrincat. Now Stankoven steals, and here they come back the other way. Jankowski up across the line, knocked to the ice from behind by Ben Sherratt. Jankowski still stick handling with it. Moved it out to center, now it's stolen. Here's Kane on a breakaway. Moving in on goal, he scores! Patrick Kane connects for Detroit. He picked the lower left-hand corner to give the Red Wings a 3-1 lead. Goal number 20 on the season for Patrick Kane.
Carolina defenseman actually lost his balance. He was knocked down by Ben Sherratt. That was a battle just inside the blue line. Sherratt kept the push, but finally it came out to the neutral zone. Mishandled by the Carolina defenseman. Away to the races. Patrick Kane looking short side. No intention of shooting it that way. Went far side, up the goalpost and in. What a shot by Kane. 3-1 Detroit.
One also could have deflected off of Kochikov too and into the net as well.
Well, just a shot going again. He wasn't looking for that puck there. He was going to go short side with it. The last second changed his mind. He's just such a very intelligent player, Patrick Kane.
Boy, big goal for the Red Wings. 2-goal lead after the Hurricanes were coming on. Here's Mott now holding it in. Shooting it out in front, wide open. Backhand try, Rasmussen scores! Two quick ones again for the Red Wings. Now lead 4-1.
A couple quick goals in the opening period. The Wings a 2-0 lead, and a couple of fast ones here in the second. A 4-1 lead, and a bang-bang play. And what a good play to stick by Michael Rasmussen. Actually carrying the puck around the goaltender's pads and back handing into a half-wide open net. Nice play by Tyler Mott. Huge goal for the Red Wings. A 3-goal cushion.
Goal number 11 on the season at 9:25. So the Wings scored 2 goals 26 seconds apart in the first. And they scored twice, 20 seconds apart here in the second. It's 4-1 Detroit.
He's gained a lot of confidence this year offensively, Michael Rasmussen. Again, I think he's going to become a real threat offense before it's all over the Red Wings. Here they come again, Detroit, Marco Kasper.
Power move in behind the Carolina goal into the corner. And now it's intercepted, and the Hurricanes punch it up across the Detroit line. Talbot, out of his net, backhands it off a stick and out of play along the near boards.
Sebastian Aho saying it's a minor penalty, but it did bounce off the stick, says the referee, so no penalty in the face-off inside the Red Wings blue line. But what a turnaround that was for the Red Wings. Great power play by Carolina. Cam Talbot made numerous great saves. It was a 2-1 lead at that point. They almost tied it up, and now it's a 4-1 advantage for Detroit.
Well, things can turn quickly, and certainly did for the Red Wings.
Ben Girard just twice had a real strong hockey game. It was his solid defensively play on Mark Jankowski. One effort by Mark Jankowski. He's on his side. He kept stick handling that puck, didn't want to give it up. Then he pushed it back to the defenseman, misplay by the defenseman, and let that clear-cut breakaway for Patrick Kane.
Officially 2 goals, 21 seconds apart. Rasmussen scoring at 9:26, and now it's a 3-goal lead for Detroit here in the second. Edmondson over the Carolina blue line to sweep it in behind the net. Sebastian Aho tried to center it. It bounces off a stick. Now Burns will feather it across for Slavin, who wrapped it out to center. Casper intercepted it for Detroit. Sebastian Aho lifts it over the Red Wing line. Marco Casper dumped it across. Now here's Burns slapping it off the boards out to the Detroit line, and handling the puck is defenseman Jeff Petrie. 9:25 to go, second period, 4-1 lead for the Red Wings. Comfer from center deflects it in behind the goal. Kochetkov to dump it into the corner. Up the right wing boards, out to center ice. It's chipped into the Detroit zone by Martinook, and now picking it up for the Red Wings, Johansson. Stankoven intercepted it, but put it on the stick of Johansson, who cuts to the middle of the ice, plays the puck to Hall, and he'll fire it around the boards into the far corner in the Carolina end. Gostisbehere almost turned it over, and now Martinook will bounce it off the wall and out to center ice. Wings regroup in front of the penalty boxes. Hall will lift that puck into the corner, now behind the Hurricane goal, scooping it around the right side boards. That is Gostisbehere, and now late coming back, touching the puck in that Carolina zone was JT Comfer, and the play is offside. Tonight's game brought to you by Meijer, the official grocer of the Detroit Red Wings radio network. We've got a pause in the action. 8:40 to go in the second period. Red Wings 4, Carolina 1. This is the Detroit Red Wings radio network.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles. Right now, get employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Offer available on the purchase or lease of the following eligible new 2024, 2025 Ford and Lincoln vehicles only. Excludes all new Ford Raptor models, Mustang Dark Horse, Mustang GTD, and all chassis cab models. U.S. residents only. Prior purchases not eligible. AXZD plan ineligible. Place a new retail order or take new retail delivery from an authorized dealer stock by June 2nd. Some exclusions may apply. So get to your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers and take advantage of employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Think Ford first.
From Novi to Royal Oak and down to Woodhaven and even Windsor, Ashley has Detroit covered when it comes to affordable, high-quality furniture and unbelievably comfortable mattresses. After nearly 20 years in the community, Ashley is proud to be the first official furniture and mattress partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Shop any of our 7 Metro Detroit locations and mention this partnership to receive 20% off your purchase. Some exclusions apply. Visit us today and help support the Red Wings this season. Only at Ashley.
Patrick Kane and Michael Rasmussen scoring 21 seconds apart. After Blake scoring to pull the Hurricanes to within 1, it's now the Red Wings 4 and Carolina 1, 8:40 to go.
Another example of parity in the NHL. Chicago Blackhawks on the road, and who would have thought this? A 3-2 lead against the Washington Capitals in the second period from Washington Capitals. Have 105 points in the season. The Blackhawks are dead last in the National Hockey League.
Well, for a while there, it was Winnipeg and Washington with the hitting the century mark, but don't overlook the Dallas Stars. They've won 7 in a row. They've got 104 points.
You can't make up ground on Winnipeg Jets, and Winnipeg a 4-0 victory on the road against the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Vegas Golden Knights are one of the better teams in the National Hockey League. That was with a backup goaltender. It wasn't Connor Hellebuck. It was a backup goaltender of the Jets last night, and they still won. Eric Comrie's that goaltender's name.
Out at center ice now from the Red Wing logo. Sider bounced it off the glass. Chetkov almost turned it over to DeBrincat. Now Kane steals. Centers it quickly out in front for Dylan Larkin. Broken up. Hall overskated the puck. Larkin holds it in. Chopped it down low and behind the Carolina goal. And turning away, Gostisbehere from Patrick Kane. Out to center ice to Taylor Hall. Up across the Red Wing line. Long shot gloved off by Talbot. And he will hang on with Jankowski on the doorstep.
Definitely is a good offensive player, Shane Gostisbehere. No doubt about that. He can bring that puck out of his own zone. He's got much better defensive as his career has moved on. And he's a lethal weapon on that power play.
Well, the Penguins aren't going to make the playoffs, but Sidney Crosby closing out the season pretty well. He's got an 11-game point streak, 8 goals and 8 assists for 16 points.
He's on that line with Ricard Raquel and Brian Russ. Russ is a Michigan native, but once you get past that top line, not much offense for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but you got to give them credit. They've really battled hard down the stretch. They've been out of the playoffs for a long time, but continue to battle hard under head coach Mike Sullivan.
Goalkeeping has been one of the problems for the Penguins this season.
I thought they had it solved when Tristan Jarry went to the American League and came back up, but all of a sudden after 3 consecutive wins or 4 consecutive wins, he's fallen back the other way again, Tristan Jarry.
Puck sticked around the boards. It's inside the Red Wing zone. Burns got it back on the line. Long shot wide of the goal by Tyson Jost. And behind the net, Mott. Checked by Robinson. Floats it into the corner. Slavin holds it in. Now a shot taken, and that one's in behind Talbot, over his shoulder and into the net. Talbot would like to have that one back, but it's another goal for Carolina. Now Red Wings 4 and the Hurricanes 2.
Well, it's a really fortunate bounce, and again, Slavin lets it go beside boards that you described. Not on it, just sort of dumped it towards the net, but it hits a stick and it bounces up in the air, and it comes back down, back in behind goaltender Cam Talbot. He wasn't quite sure where that puck was. That was Eric Robinson, the young forward, down in the front. That's a big goal for the Hurricanes. It's 4-2 Detroit.
Robida playing in his first National Hockey League game. In there too, who shot the puck and went behind Talbot off his skate and into the net. So we'll have to wait and see who's going to get credit for this goal. If it's Robida, that's his first NHL goal in his first NHL game.
He put big numbers in the Quebec Junior Hockey League.
Play offside now up across the Detroit blue line. Yeah, kind of a strange play as it was shot to the front of the goal. It bounced it behind Cam Talbot off his skate.
Just think of it. Think of the mechanics of that. The shot hit the stick, but went up softly and slowly enough just to get up over top of Talbot and back down behind him where he couldn't find where the puck was and across that goal line. So definitely a fortunate bounce there for the Hurricanes.
You mentioned Paul Robinson was out in front of the goal as well. All right, 2-goal game, 7:03 to play in the second period. Red Wings 4 and Carolina 2. Casper rifles it around the boards, pinching down low to hold it in. That's Petrie. Renau Raymond skates to the right point, spins it around the boards to Petrie in the corner in deep. Got it behind the goal to Marco Casper.
And a good job of the Wings again. They just picked up 1 minor penalty so far in this hockey game.
Sebastian Aho with a feed, 2-on-1 developing over the line. Feed pass across by Blake, broken up. Good play by Petrie, and then he shot the puck off as sticking out of play.
The referee says so, no claim to a minor penalty. That's a good defensive play by Jeff Petrie. Odd man rush again for the Carolina Hurricanes with 6:33 left here in period number 2.
Red Wings, they've allowed 2 goals or less in their last 2 games. They've allowed 2 goals here tonight to the Carolina Hurricanes.
I just want to keep that number below 3 every chance they get. Got to tighten up right now. Cam Talbot's been good in goal like he has been the last 3 outings.
6:33 to go, second period here in Detroit. Second period, 4-2 in favor of the Red Wings. 19 shots by Carolina, 14 for the Red Wings.
JT Compher kicked out of the face-off circle, didn't move that much. Kotkaniemi stays in and wins it. The Wings jump quickly and get control of the puck.
Tarasenko, good feed pass ahead to JT Compher, cuts wide on Burns. Burns with the long reach to poke it away. Martinook backhands it out to center. Stankoven cutting down the middle, moves it into the corner, goes after it himself, bounced it behind the goal, and Sider with a puck. Steered it, but not out. Burns, quick snapshot in front, looking for a tip. It ends up in the corner.
Bounced off the body of Ben Chirot. He used his skate that time to take that shot away from the goal. Good defensive play by him. He's been very good, Ben Chirot, all night long.
Hurricanes play it high off the glass into the corner of the Red Wing zone. Chirot steers it out to center ice. And the puck shot over the Detroit blue line. That's offside, and we've got a whistle. And a face-off coming up in the neutral zone when we come back 5:57 to play in the second period. Red Wings 4, Carolina 2. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey.
You just slept on it funny. I think it's supposed to be that color. It's probably just something you ate. That'll clear right up with some aloe. Some chicken soup will have you back on your feet in no time. Not sure. But Mom will probably know.
Don't rely on guesswork. For 85 years, Blue Cross has been providing Michiganders with access to the care and resources they need, and will be ready to help for the next 85 years.
America's favorite place to watch sports is Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. Catch all the biggest games at a viewing experience built for sports fans. Chill in one of our 6 pools on 3 different levels for a perfect view of our massive screen. Located at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Stadium Swim. Book your spot today at circalasvegas.com.
Parents, could your high school senior or recent grad use free money for college or career training? Fund their path with the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Odds are they'll qualify for tuition-free community college, up to $27,500 at a public or private university, or up to $4,000 for a career training program. Simply fill out the FAFSA to apply. Get started at mi.gov/achievement.
Add to his career. 19 shots by Carolina, 14 for Detroit. Petrie got it back inside his own zone, hustling in the corner. Edvinsson tied up by Stankoven, who played it to Kotkaniemi with a shot, and that's deflected out of play off a Red Wing stick of Edvinsson.
That's a good defensive play by Simon Edvinsson. He had a straight path towards the Red Wing goal, let that shot go, and if that gets through, it's going to be problems with Cam Talbot. Good work by Simon Edvinsson.
Carolina Hurricanes started their franchise in Hartford, and they were the Hartford Whalers for many, many years, and then
weren't very productive in Hartford. They weren't very productive in Carolina. And all of a sudden they made a change and brought in Ron Brindamore as the head coach, and ever since that happened, they're one of the better teams year after year in the NHL.
Burns with a shot from the blue line, Talbot to save, and he will hang on. Another whistle, another face-off. The Carolina Hurricanes were the opponent for the Red Wings in the 2022 playoffs. They won the first game in overtime. Ron Francis had
was playing, that's right,
game-winning goal, and then that triple overtime game won by Detroit Red Wings, eventually winning the series in 5 games. But then a couple years later, the Hurricanes won a Stanley Cup, and have been a pretty good team over the last several years in Carolina.
Yeah, they've been really good. They've been really well-disciplined team. Another good scoring chance. Blocked before it got through to Cam Talbot again.
Backhanded out to the Carolina blue line. Burns snaps it up across the Detroit blue line, and scooping it up, that is Petrie. Outlets it ahead to Lucas Raymond. Quickly turns with a puck out at center. Now to Marco Kasper in over the blue line. Put on the brakes. Drops it to the trailer. Off the bench on a change is Sider. Sider behind the goal with a quick release, and that one ends up in the corner. Now chasing after the loose puck. That is Lucas Raymond for Detroit. Hammers it in behind the goal. Reaching for it is Elmer Soderblom. Soderblom spins away from Burns. Another quick pivot by Elmer. Got it down and behind the goal. Kochetkov let it go into the corner, and finally it's chipped by Aho out to center ice. 2-on-1 developing. Jarvis over the line. Drops it in the slot to Blake with a move in front. A shot taken. Save made Talbot. Another good play by Blake, trying to score as it comes to the line now. Turning with it. Hurricanes pick it up there. Morrow now making his way, left face-off circle with a shot. That's off the stick of Mott, holding it in. Gostisbehere rolls it around the boards to the left point. Morrow to Taylor Hall, falls down, picks up, gets up quickly in behind the goal. Now spins with a puck in the corner, takes it in behind the net, throws it out in front. Mott will intercept, chop it around the wall, and this puck will come out to center ice.
Well, good pressure by the Carolina Hurricanes late in the second period, looking for the third goal. Well, good saves by Cam Talbot. Hall's got it again down the left side.
3:55 to play, second period. 2-goal lead for the Red Wings, 4-2. Turning with it, Roslovic in the corner. Now down low, it comes to Roslovic again with a shot from the left side, right side rather, and Talbot came up with a save.
Their 5-man game just much better, much stronger here in the second period. The Hurricanes, they've got it deep again in the Red Wing zone.
Kane took it away from Jankowski, starts the attack over the blue line, pushes it into the corner, but he was stood up by Gostisbehere. Morrow circles in behind his own goal, finds Hall at center ice, carries into the Red Wing zone, down the middle. Drops it for a trailer, broken up in the slot by Hall. The Wings come back on a 3-on-2, but Hall juggled the puck at center and now just rolls it in behind the Carolina goal. Into the right corner, Tarasenko. He was met with a body check from Walker, and now penalty call on the play for tripping. Brian Pakmara says the Hurricanes will be getting the game.
Good work by JT Compher in the offensive zone. Not much of a penalty. The Wings will take it. A power play chance late in the second period. A chance to expand on their 2-goal lead.
Let's check Roslovic. Tripping the call at 16 minutes and 50 seconds of the second period. One thing about Carolina, they don't take many minor penalties. Usually they stay out of the box.
They like to be on the attack, like to play in the offensive zone. They've been much better at that here in the second period. Much tighter offensively.
The Red Wing power play brought to you by Carbliss, the preferred ready-to-drink cocktail of your Detroit Red Wings. Face-off coming up with the Red Wings want it. Circled to the right of Peter Kochetkov. Larkin, Raymond, and DeBrincat up front for Detroit with Sider on the left point and Kane on the right. From the draw, the puck shot into the corner. Martinook, penalty-killing roll, uses the center of the ice to roll it off the stick of Sider and into the Red Wing end. Wings on the attack. Here's Patrick Kane moving out to the center ice circle. Hands it off to DeBrincat. Now to Raymond. Pass across in the slot for Larkin. Off his stick. Martinook backhands it all the way down the ice using the right wing boards. So the Red Wings regroup. Have to go 200 feet the other way. Skating left to right here in the second period. 2:40 to go. Wings with a man advantage. They're second of the hockey game. They've got a 4-2 lead. Now it's broken up at the Red Wing blue line, and here is Aho dumping it down into the corner for Jarvis. Stepping in to intercept him behind the net was DeBrincat, who hands it off to King. This can't get set up in the Carolina zone. They'll try it again. Here's DeBrincat over the line, right circle, pass across, off the stick of Walker, and then Walker with a hit on DeBrincat. Aho comes back shorthanded up the right side, flips ahead over the blue line. Jarvis, now the trailer. Aho with a shot, shorthanded. Talbot the save in the rings. On the transition, 3-on-2, head back over the blue line. Larkin moves in. He shoots off the crossbar, and the rebound skips into the corner. And now cleared out in front of the goal. Compher knocked down, loose puck. Tarasenko couldn't get it. And Seth Jarvis will wheel it out to center ice. The Hurricanes with an opportunity shorthanded, then the Red Wings. Larkin with a chance.
Sebastian Aho gambled in the offensive zone while shorthanded. Almost cost him as Joe Larkin came down that 3-on-2 and squarely off the goalpost. Wings that close to getting their 5th goal of the game.
Turning with it, and behind his own goal is Edmondson. Minute and a half to go in the second period. 18 seconds to go in the Red Wing power play. 4-2 Detroit. Here's JT Compher now with a feed pass to Casper over the line, left side. Bounce that puck around the boards. Tarasenko in the right corner. Got it into the slot. Knocked away from Compher, and Martinook will just clear it all the way down the ice. Penalty is over. Roslovic is back on, and the Hurricanes are at full strength. So the Wings 0 for 2 on the power play. Now a long lead pass over the line to Berggren moving in. Berggren hanging on. Drops it to the trailer. Mott with a shot. Make that Smith, and he fired it wide. Smith another shot, and he fired it wide of the goal. Kochetkov lost his stick. It's in the corner. Red Wings have it deep in the Carolina zone, trying to make them pay right here. Stankoven with the loose puck played it ahead, and now steered out to center by Morrow to Jack Roslovic, and that allows Kochetkov to pick up his stick, and now it's moved into the corner by the Hurricanes in the Red Wing zone.
What a power move by Jonathan Berggren down that left side to create that scoring chance. The Red Wings will almost get their 5th goal of the game. Time running out here as Roslovic dumps it in for Carolina.
The Wings have had a lot of breakaways and outnumbered rushes in that Carolina zone, and that's kind of unheard of under this Hurricane team.
We usually play much more time in the offensive zone. They've done more of that in the second period, but again, they've got some injuries back in that blue line. It's really not that strong a group of 6 defensemen.
Wings dump it from center and behind the Hurricane goal, and time will wind down. The period comes to a close. Both teams scoring twice in that second period. Blake and Robinson for the Hurricanes, Kane and Rasmussen for Detroit. And after 40 minutes here in Hockeytown, it's a 4-2 lead by the Red Wings over the Carolina Hurricanes.
And the Wings now get in that locker room, get rejuvenated, get rested up, come back out, win this third period, and pick up these 2 very important points. It's a very important weekend for the Wings. Tonight against Carolina, and Sunday afternoon against those Florida Panthers.
Now let's get to those shots on goal in the second period. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. 16 shots by the Carolina Hurricanes, two-period total of 23. The Red Wings 7 for a two-period total of 14 on Peter Kochetkov. All right, our plus-minus update brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. Buy, sell, finance, and save.
Here are the two players right now, the rookie scoring the leaders who have the best plus-minus marks. Marco make that my mistake. Zach Bolduc plus 20 in the season. The Red Hot St. Louis Blues. They've won 11 games. He's got 16 goals of the season. Then you got Jackson Blake, who's playing tonight for these Carolina Hurricanes. Very impressive. Plus 12 for tonight's action. 15 goals on the season for him. In case you're interested, you've got Marco Kasper now minus 4 on the season. 16 goals, 15 assists for 31 points. But still, that's a good plus-minus for a rookie center iceman in the National Hockey League.
Those goals by Kane and Rasmussen in the second period are DTE Energy light the lamp goals. And speaking of Marco Kasper, it seems like whatever line you put him on, he's productive.
And not just the line, just the position as well. He spent a lot of time with Dylan Larkin on that top line with Lucas Raymond playing on the left side, and now he moves back to his natural position center ice. But I think that's where he'll end up. He's a very effective player. He can be strong in both ends of the ice.
Well, 40 minutes of hockey is played, Paul, and 20 minutes to go. What do you like about the way the Red Wings have played here tonight?
Just what I liked in the previous games as well. These last 3 games, including these first 2 periods of tonight, it's been a much more highly competitive team. And getting Elmer Soderblom back in the lineup has really helped them as well tonight. Much better balance up front. Now they're getting scoring chance on all 4 lines, and more good work by Cam Talbot. And Ben Sherrod, I think, back on the blue line, has been the Red Wings' best defenseman so far tonight. So lots to like, and just 20 minutes away from 2 very important points.
So the Red Wings trying to pick up the 2 points and get a little bit closer to those Montreal Canadiens. Right now the Red Wings 6 points out of that final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Red Wings 4, Carolina 2 in the second intermission. Our second period break brought to you by Clean Express Auto Wash. Mark Ryan's in our 1-800-CALL-SAM studios tonight. He's coming up next. Tell you all about the hockey game thus far. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving a good deal more when you shop with M-Perks at Meijer. Some delicious blueberries, money saved. A creamy treat of cookie dough ice cream, that's money saved. Savings, savings, savings. Because every dollar spent is also 10 points earned in M-Perks, which you can use to save on your next grocery trip or up to $1 off per gallon on your next tank of gas. At Meijer, we work hard to help you save a good deal more for a whole lot less. That's bringing more good to life. Exclusions apply. See mperks.com for details.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV.
Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. Chevy, official vehicle of the Detroit Red Wings.
After beating colon cancer, I'm turning setbacks into comebacks. I am Henry.
I'm pain-free and at full strength after spine surgery. I am Henry.
A life-saving delivery ensured my shift could continue. I am Henry.
When you need care to get you back on your game, trust the only care team chosen as the official team physicians for the Detroit Red Wings. Henry Ford Health.
We are Henry.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
I'm attorney Mark Bernstein at the Sam Bernstein Law Firm. Our firm has helped recover over $3.5 billion by fighting and winning one case at a time for over 50 years. We listen, fight for what you deserve, and you don't pay until we win, because nobody fights harder. There are over 3.5 billion reasons to get the Bernstein advantage. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Michigan's first family of law.
Live from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. How about that? This performance by the Red Wings in a must-have-it game. 4-2 after 2. Good guys. A 2-2 second period. Your second intermission scoring summary brought to you by McLaren Health. McLaren and the Carmanis Cancer Institute. Your best chance. Well, taking a 2-0 lead into the first intermission, it was the Carolina Hurricanes drawing closer as you thought you knew they were going to show some fight in this second period. Jackson Blake's 15th of the year, just 1:57 into the second period, made it 2-1 Red Wings. But then, there is no place you'd rather have Patrick Kane than on a breakaway. We've seen him win a game for the Red Wings in overtime this year. It's as sure a thing as death and taxes. Patrick Kane lighting the lamp to make it 3-1 good guys. You do not want to see Patrick Kane bearing down on goal if you're a Red Wings opponent.
Stick Canling with it. Moved it out to center. Now it's stolen. Here's Kane on a breakaway. Moving in on goal. He scores! Patrick Kane connects for Detroit. He picked the lower left-hand corner to give the Red Wings a 3-1 lead.
You know, they've said the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a baseball. Maybe it's actually stopping Patrick Kane from scoring on a breakaway. That made it 3-1 Red Wings. Then, 21 seconds later, blink and you missed it. I mean, imagine using the restroom during this period of the game. Michael Rasmussen, his 11th on the year, and extending the Red Wings lead even further.
Here's Mott now holding it in. Shooting it out in front, wide open. Backhand try, Rasmussen scores! Two quick ones again for the Red Wings. Now lead 4-1.
4-1, the Carolina Hurricanes would draw closer, making it so that, the Red Wings can't take their feet off the gas in this final period. Eric Robinson, his 14th of the season. But the reality is, great start for the good guys. Being outshot 23-14, but when 4 of your 14 shots find the back of the net, who's complaining? Faceoffs won 29-16 in favor of Carolina in this particular contest. But again, Detroit, the more physical of these two teams, 12 hits to 7 here in the early going. Carolina, more giveaways than the Detroit Red Wings in this one as well. 8 games remaining. 6 points back of the final playoff berth. 88 points, the projected point total needed to make the playoffs this season, which means you might need a finish of 6-1-1. Tonight would be a great start toward that end. We will speak with Red Wings color analyst Paul Woods coming your way next. Would this be the most improbable run of the playoffs ever? Right here on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
Red Wings fans, get in the game at Dunham Sports to find great savings in every aisle. Since 1937, Dunham's has been bringing Red Wing fans the best values on the brand name sporting goods you want. Dunham's has your favorite brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Champion, Carhartt, Titleist, Bauer, Spalding, Warrior, Nordic Track, and many more at prices that are hard to beat. Get in the game and save at any of the 70 Michigan Dunham Sports locations.
In every home, someone is always too cold or too warm.
What's the temperature in here? I'll just...
And then there's someone who's trying to save money.
Step away from the thermostat.
Well, DTE wants to help with both. Seal air leaks, add insulation, and change filters regularly to save up to $200 a year. And stay comfortable, too.
Ah, warm and cozy.
Get more tips at dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE.
Imagine a world where technology transforms the way we think about our environment. Welcome to Priority, where we're redefining the future of recycling and cleanliness with cutting-edge tech. Our innovative solutions are designed for those who demand smarter, more efficient ways to care for our planet. We're not just ahead of the curve, we're creating it. Ready to join the revolution? Visit PriorityWaste.com and see how we're setting the new standards in the industry. Priority, where technology meets sustainability.
Winged Wheel Nation memberships are officially on sale, and now is the best time to secure your seats for the Red Wings 2025-26 season. Visit DetroitRedWings.com/memberships today.
Hurricanes 4-2. They've dropped 7 of 8 to this team, but tonight have a big lead in a critical game. It's time for your second intermission conversation. It's brought to you by Meijer, proud hometown partner of the Detroit Red Wings, and we are pleased to be joined by the Red Wings color analyst, Paul Woods. Paul, it's incredible, and I want to ask you this because we've got an almost insurmountable mountain to climb here, but then we just witnessed the Detroit Tigers having a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs. We've seen not one
all the time.
Yeah,
Mark.
We've seen not one but two 7-game win streaks for this team this year. So what?
Well,
what can the Red Wings do to make this interesting?
Well, just do what they've done these last 3 games, including this game tonight against Carolina, and just have that same intensity level, play that same way, solid defensively, timely scoring, and Cam Talbot's been great in goal. With the 5 teams that they're battling for one wild card spot, Montreal, Rangers, Columbus, Detroit, the Honors, all 5 have had good moments, bad moments. Like I mentioned, Montreal, before they won these last 3 games, had 1 in 5 hockey games. No one knows when it's going to change, but all you can do is take care of your own business. And again, the Red Wings are playing better now. And my pathway for them to get there, win the game tonight, win Sunday against the Florida Panthers, and that sends down a big showdown against the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal is playing at home against Philadelphia tomorrow. But the Flyers got a new head coach. They're playing much better now, rejuvenated. They can win that game. If that happens, when we play Montreal on Tuesday, if we do take care of our business, we're playing for the wild card spot, and the Red Wings have the tiebreaker against Montreal if it does come down to it.
They most certainly do. Paul Woods joining us here. Paul, if you were going to list an example of an amazing comeback to make the postseason to this Red Wings team, which would come to mind?
Well, I'll tell you what, just back, and I've done this for many years, but I remember one year we played Edmonton in the opening round of the playoffs, and we were supposed to beat them in 4 consecutive games, and they won that series. They were the 8th seed in the Western Conference. They won that series 4-2, went all the way to the Stanley Cup finals, and then we played the Anaheim Ducks, and they were the same thing. They were dead last. They were 8th. We were first. We were supposed to sweep them in the opening round. They beat us in 4 consecutive games and went on to the Stanley Cup finals. This stuff happens all the time. We just forget about it. We don't have a good memory, and we keep saying, and the only thing that sort of bothers me too, Mark, is all the mathematicians out there, they keep telling me mathematically they can't do this, they can't do that. They couldn't count to 10 if they took their shoes and socks off, yet they're quoting mathematics. They're going on and on. You don't know what you're talking about. The only thing you do know is you don't know. So just admit that, let it play itself out. This Red Wing team's got no quit in them, and I expect them somehow to find a way to get in.
If you could wave a magic wand and do one thing over the last month, what would it be?
I think goaltending, it was really good to start the season. Probably 20 games in, we were great. Then we had some injury problems, and it wasn't good for a long period of time. And you know what, again, Mark, going down the stretch, like twice now we've beaten the Columbus Blue Jackets. We outplayed them and didn't pick up a single point. The same thing with the Ottawa Senators. We dominate them, and we can't get a point off them. We played in St. Louis. They'd won 10 in a row. We outplayed them or didn't outplay them. Should have had the victory. It was a 1-0. But we need more wins from our goaltender. We've been getting it now. And Cam Talbot now, these last 3 games, has really come to the front. He's played outstanding, given his team confidence. But again, just Soderblom coming back tonight makes a big difference for the Red Wings. All of a sudden now, all 4 lines are productive and much more difficult to play against.
To say the least, Paul Woods, we look forward to your call of period number 3. Thanks so much.
Keep them positive thoughts coming, Mark. Good job.
There you go. There we go. All right, coming your way next, we've got a chase of history coming down the pike. Has history been made this evening? We'll explain coming your way next. My name is Mark Ryan. 4-2 Red Wings over the Carolina Hurricanes here on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
Imagine a world where technology transforms the way we think about our environment. Welcome to Priority, where we're redefining the future of recycling and cleanliness with cutting-edge tech. Our innovative solutions are designed for those who demand smarter, more efficient ways to care for our planet. We're not just ahead of the curve, we're creating it. Ready to join the revolution? Visit PriorityWaste.com and see how we're setting the new standards in the industry. Priority, where technology meets sustainability.
Are aches, pains, or injuries keeping you on the sidelines? At Athletico, our movement experts are here to help you turn your setbacks into comebacks and create a personalized game plan for your recovery. With no prescription or referral needed, Athletico Physical Therapy is where your comeback story begins. Get started today by scheduling a free assessment at Athletico.com. Official partner of the Detroit Red Wings.
To grow your business in the cloud, you need to make sense of your data, and Dynatrace makes it possible. With end-to-end observability powered by AI, you can unlock the insights hidden in your data, innovate faster, deliver better user experiences, and see your business like you've never seen it before. That's the power of possible. That's the power of Dynatrace. Find out how and try it for free at Dynatrace.com. That's Dynatrace.com.
Wallside put the first in 81st. It's Wallside's 81st year in business. So for the first and only time ever, you get 81 months no interest. 81 months with no down payment, plus half off every window we make. It's another first for Wallside. 81 months no interest, plus half off every window. For a very limited time, call Wallside today, 1-800-521-7800, or go to wallside.com.
Ford employs and assembles more vehicles in the U.S. than any other automaker. Right now, get employee pricing on new 2024 and 2025 Ford trucks and SUVs. Exclusions apply. Visit your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers today.
Live from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studio, time for your out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. Buy, sell, finance, and save. The Blackhawks surprisingly leading the Capitals 3-2 at the end of 2. But the story here, Alexander Ovechkin is 40th of the season, now one away from the great one, Wayne Gretzky, to tie the all-time goal-scoring lead. It's the Islanders, kind of in the muck with the Red Wings in the Eastern Conference. They lead the Minnesota Wild 2-1 with 2:57 to go in the second period there. So we will see. Can the Red Wings close this one out? Level up from a problem point for them this season. We send it back to Ken Cowell and Paul Woods for their call of the third period of tonight's game.
20 minutes yet to be played here at Little Caesars Arena, 4-2 in favor of the Red Wings. Before we start the third period, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Detroit Red Wings radio now.
Centers. Hockey comes alive. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
I'll play your thoughts after 40 minutes of play.
It's a strong game by the Red Wings. They played well in both periods. Carolina played better in that second period. Cam Talbot's been the better of the two goaltenders. If that continues in the third period, the Wings should be able to wrap up these two very important points and get themselves back into playoff contention.
Red Wings take on the Florida Panthers, and we will be on the air at 5:15 on Sunday afternoon as the Red Wings take on Florida.
And there are no easy games against the Florida Panthers. It's a very competitive team, the Stanley Cup champions.
Right now, Florida third spot in the Atlantic Division. And, a tight race between Toronto, Tampa Bay, and the Florida Panthers.
They get their injured players back in there. Aaron Ekblad definitely going to help. And, of course, you Matthew Tkachuk, who hasn't played since the Four Nations tournament. Put those two guys back in the lineup. It'll be a totally different-looking team. Puck has dropped. The third period's underway.
And had a choppy hockey game all the way through, and we start this third period 6 seconds in with an icing call against the Red Wings. So that means the face-off on a fresh sheet of ice, circled to the right of Cam Talbot, who has faced 23 Carolina shots in the game.
What I really like tonight is that JT Compher, Berggren, Vladimir Tarasenko, those three have all had strong games. Berggren got over 12 minutes of ice time. I think of Tyler Mott, Craig Smith, and Rasmussen. They've been very effective as well. Rasmussen's got a goal. Mott's got an assist. They're getting up. Good offensive contribution from all four lines. Of course, it makes it much more difficult for the opposing team. Puck's gloved ahead from...
Wings win the faceoff as Tarasenko chipped it up across the Carolina blue line. Kotkaniemi in the corner will rifle it out the center to Martinook, and he'll play that puck softly along the left wing boards into the corner in the Red Wing end. Simon Edvinsson checked along the boards. Wings get some help, though, as it's bounced back by Berggren. Now across to Petrie, quickly to Tarasenko over the line. Pass off the stick of JT Compher, and now scooping it up. That's Gostisbehere, didn't clear it out. Second effort, popped it ahead. It came out to the penalty box area, and Edvinsson to drive a slapper right back into the Carolina zone.
He was real good, JT Compher, against the St. Louis Blues. It's back-to-back strong games for him. The Wings need that from the third line center.
Good work by the Wings to hold it in. Lucas Raymond bumped off balance by Gostisbehere, who picks up the puck, rolls it ahead to Taylor Hall, and now it's swept off his stick by Mo Seider. 4-2 Red Wings. 1:10 gone by third period. Lucas Raymond chopped it around the boards, trying to get away from Walker. helping out Chatfield, but it's Raymond still working for it. Chatfield comes out of the pile, moves it out to center. Now in over the Red Wing blue line, pushes it over to the right wing boards and trickles it down into the corner in the Detroit end.
What a warrior he's become back on the blue line. Jalen Chatfield, very popular player for the Carolina Hurricane fans and well deserved.
Sider, right-handed shooting defender, got it out to center ice. Walker waits for his teammates to get onside and flips the puck around the boards into the right corner in the Detroit end. Now dug off the boards, Roslovic behind the goal, moves it left face-off circle. Shot short side, wide of the goal. Burns with a chance, sticked away by Talbot. Popped up into the air, Talbot knocked it into the corner.
He's non-focused.
Roslovic trying to jam it out. The skates of Jankowski, and he's got that puck pinned in along the boards. Now picked up by Sider, and a penalty coming up as Taylor Hall was knocked down back to behind the Red Wing goal.
Holding, says the referee. Ben Sherratt, and all these fans not quite sure. Sherratt's had an outstanding hockey game. He scored a goal. He's +3 through 40 minutes of play.
Sherratt gets the gate, holding the call at 2 minutes and 10 seconds of this third period. This is the second power play of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes. Red Wings lead 4-2, and this Red Wing penalty kill coming up, brought to you by Corewell Health. No matter the challenge, their response is always the same: we can.
There's a battle between Taylor Hall and Ben Sherratt. Ben Sherratt did give him a bit of a spin that time and knocked him down, so I guess I can see why the referee called the penalty on him. Big face-off won by Carolina.
Our plays under review this season, brought to you by 1-800-CALL-SAM as well. Here's Gostisbehere now at the middle of the blue line, sending it up high.
Oh, Larkin's got no stick. Big advantage for Carolina.
One-time shot block. Hall plays it over to the right wing board, didn't clear it out. Sebastian Aho got it to the line now. Feed pass comes right out in front. Here's Aho with a chance, and he fired it wide. Edmondson backhands the puck down the ice, and the Red Wings will be allowed to change.
He's dodged a bullet there. Dylan Larkin heads to the bench to get a stick. It looked like the Wings had a couple of chances to get it out, couldn't do it, and Sebastian Aho just did miss, making it a one-goal lead for Detroit.
Now here's Seth Jarvis out of his own zone, lifting it over on the left wing boards. Hall bumped it back. Gostisbehere skates over, middle of the blue line. Feed pass to Aho. Back to Gostisbehere to Aho. Fakes the slapper, fumbled it a little bit, regains his composure. Sends it to the line. Gostisbehere floats it hard off the stick of Jarvis. Blake trying to dig it loose for Carolina. Bumped it back to Gostisbehere. Now to Aho. Right face off circle. Swings it back to Gostisbehere. His shot blocked by Talbot. Rebound Jarvis in the corner. Blake moved it back in the line to Gostisbehere. Now to Blake. Left circle feed down low. Blake handles it again for Carolina. They're buzzing down low. Feed pass right side. Jarvis' shot. Rebound comes out in front after Talbot made the save, and the Red Wings clear it down the ice.
Maritza Sider did a good job of staying in front of that goal. Stayed in position that time. The puck came to him and right at him, and fortunately shot the length of the ice to take some valuable time off the clock.
Back up across the line. Here's Walker moving into the corner. 20 seconds to go in the minor penalty to Sherratt. 4-2 Detroit. Here's Burns up high, middle of the blue line. Pass left side, a shot blocked. Rebound right side, Roslovic. Now to Burns in the high slot. Moves it across, a one-time shot, and that's deflected out of play from the left side.
Michael Rasmussen got the shaft for the stick that time. Took another dangerous scoring chance away from Carolina. Good-looking power play for the Hurricanes. Just cannot get that many clean shots through the goaltender, Cam Talbot.
Well, they've had that puck for some time on that power play in the offensive zone.
They're good 5-on-5 in that kind of a situation. Even better in a power play situation. It's a big face-off coming up with 6 seconds left in Ben Sherratt's minor penalty.
Face-off coming up to the right of Cam Talbot. 4-2 Detroit. Larkin trying to kick that puck into the corner. Stepped on it. Now it's tapped around the board. Simon Edmondson clears it. Onto the boxes, Ben Sherratt. Moves over the Carolina blue line and floats that puck around the boards to Dylan Larkin in the right corner. Larkin, feed past Johansson from the left side. Moves it now to DeBrincat. Skates to the high slot, dropping it back to Kane. Eludes traffic, fires it right through the goal mouth, and Roslovic on the rebound will scoop it out of harm's way and out to center ice. So the Red Wings dodged the bullet. 4-2 Detroit, 15:20 to go in regulation.
How about Albert Johansson on that penalty kill? Because Ben Sherratt's in the penalty box. He's out there at Maritza in the first half of that power play for Carolina. And this guy does not get enough credit. He's a very important player, Albert Johansson, on the Red Wing team.
Here's Martinook now across the Red Wing line, pumping it around the boards into the far corner in the Red Wing end. 7-2 in favor of Detroit. Here's Robinson. He's got a goal in the hockey game, pumping it back in the line. He's watched by 2 Red Wings, finally clear it out of harm's way.
You know, you look at the rookie statistics in the top 30. I keep waiting for him to break into that top 30. He's always seemed like he's 1 point out. Now, that's an important stat, but a much more important stat is average ice time. He's 4th amongst NHL rookies in average ice time.
Here is Raymond circling with it in the Red Wing zone, bumped it around the boards to Mo Seider. Seider dished it out to center ice. Lucas Raymond backhands the puck off the boards into the Carolina zone. Soderblom tapped it in front. Chetkov knocked it away. From the line, Sherrod swept it over. Seider moves in right circle with a chance, and that's redirected wide. Raymond with a shot from down low, knocked away by Kochetkov.
And Kochetkov slid all the way across that time. He was out of position. The Wings would have got that puck back out in front.
Seider now scooping up the puck in his own zone, rifles it across. 4-2 Detroit. We're in the third, 6 minutes gone by. Wings shoot it in. Icing is the call against Detroit. 26 shots in the game for the Carolina Hurricanes and 15 for the Red Wings. Now the faceoff moves to the left of Cam Talbot, the Red Wings goaltender. He's been kind of busy here, especially on that last power play.
Wings got off to a good start in the opening period statistically, but boy, you look at the shot totals, and now Carolina definitely controlling the play. They're up to 26. The Wings are stuck on 15, and the Red Wing forwards now got to get in that offensive zone and spend much more time now in the final 13 minutes and 57 seconds.
Talbot allowed 2 goals on 37 shots in his last game. That was Tuesday against the St. Louis Blues.
And he deserved a much better fate. We should have won that hockey game. Got to give credit to St. Louis.
Hottest team right now in the NHL, 11 straight wins for the St. Louis Blues. Here's Aho with a shot blocked in the right circle by Marco Kasper. The Wings again just dump it off the glass to the side of Kochetkov, and this is an icing call against Detroit.
And the Wings can't make the change, and they were circling towards the bench. They're looking to do that, and very important block shot that time by Marco Kasper. Another side of his game a lot of people don't talk about. He's physical, second the Red Wing team in hits so far this season. Plays solid defense. Another big face-off coming up. Sebastian Aho be taking it against Kasper.
This is Talbot's 3rd consecutive game in between the pipes for the Red Wings. Still no timetable as far as Peter Mrazek and when he can return. He was injured early in that game in Utah. The Lion came off the bench and did a great job as the Red Wings beat the Utah Hockey Club 5-1.
Well, goaltender Varel Velzmelka of the Utah Hockey Club, he's made 17 consecutive starts. He's going old school now. Not many goaltenders do that anymore in the NHL. Another good scoring chance by Carolina.
Jarvis with the wrister, Talbot the save. Jarvis again in the high slot. Turning with it is Jackson Blake with a feed pass as they're circling now in the Red Wing zone. Sebastian Aho with a chance. That's blocked by Edvinsson. Rebound skips along the boards. Comfort dug it loose, got it behind the goal to Edvinsson. Laid that puck off his stick, and now on the second effort, Petrie can't get it out. Third opportunity still inside the zone. Gostisbehere just floats it to the front of the goal and gloved off by Talbot.
Another wide decision by Cam Talbot. Definitely another strong chip for the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Wings get a much needed break and a faceoff.
Timeout, 12:53 to go. Third period, still a 2-goal lead for the Red Wings. Detroit 4, Carolina 2. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey.
At Corewell Health, we know time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, innovation, and we do. We're fighting cancer with proton therapy and music therapy. We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's with deep brain stimulation and outsmarting blood clots in seconds instead of days. Because this is your time to take control of your health. And it's time to show that together, we can. Corewell Health.
This is the best news you'll hear all day. Little Caesars has a large 2-topping pizza for $5.99. This deal sounds so good, it's even making your ears hungry.
He's right. They're hungry.
Listen to those honkers on your head and get this amazing deal of a 2-topping pizza for $5.99 from Little Caesars when you order online. For a limited time, online only, participating Little Caesars stores. Excludes third-party sites. Enter promo code TOPTHIS at checkout to get a custom round pizza. Excludes thin crust, deep dish, stuffed crust, stuffed crazy crust, plus tax where applicable.
Pizza.
Wings fans, skate into bliss this season with Carbliss. The no-carb, no-sugar, 100-calorie premium vodka cocktail. With power play flavors like black raspberry, pineapple, cranberry, and lemon lime, there's a Carbliss flavor for everyone. Find ice-cold Carbless at Little Caesars Arena all season long, at retailers near you and at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, an official ready-to-drink cocktail of your Detroit Red Wings.
The Red Wings want to stay in the playoff hunt. They are 6 points behind the Montreal Canadiens, currently hang on to that final wild card spot. The Red Wings can win this hockey game, move to within 4 points. And a face-off coming up to the right of Talbot. Red Wing goal scorers tonight: Chirac, Kasper, Kane, and Rasmussen. And Blake and Robinson scoring for the Carolina Hurricanes. Wings control as Rasmussen dumped it out to center ice while being knocked to the ice. Craig Smith steers it to the Carolina blue line. Reaching is Walker, and he'll play it across to Chatfield, who will slap that puck into the Detroit end.
We watch him play, Jared Chatfield back on the blue line. Just amazing that no team in the NHL actually drafted him when he was playing junior hockey for the Windsor Spitfires.
He's one of their top defenders, and he can really move the puck, and pretty good defensively as well.
He just started out as a sixth defenseman. He just barely made the team. He's got better and better every season now with Carolina.
Wings dump it in, make a change on the go. Kochetkov almost turned it over, finally chopped ahead by the Hurricanes out to center ice.
The backup goaltender's got 26 wins. Frederick Anderson was injured for most of the first half of the season. The starting at goaltender, played well since coming off the injured list.
Into the corner. Larkin. Carolina a little bit careless. Now Larkin turned it over to Hall, who tapped it up the boards and out to center ice.
Another eventful shift for Taylor Hall. Rod Vennemore will not be happy about that. Good defensive work that time by Justin Hall. Good shoulder body check.
That was on Mark Jankowski. Now a feed out in front, dangerously played out to center by DeBrincat.
It was Patrick Kane that gave it to Alex DeBrincat. It was a very dangerous play, but again, Patrick Kane, he can make those kind of plays.
Wings with just 15 shots on goal. They scored 2 goals in the first period, 26 seconds apart. 2 goals in the second, 21 seconds apart.
You see many times the NHL, the shots are told, not really a bearing in the outcome of the hockey game.
Now it's Berggren tapping it around the boards in the Carolina zone. Out to center ice quickly. Kotkaniemi strides over the Red Wing line on Edvinsson. Edvinsson knocked him off stride, but a follow-up shot wide of the goal by Martinook. Left circle feed, chance. Talbot the save, lost the puck. It's loose out in front, cleared away to the blue line by Detroit. They hold it in. Here's Morrow turning with it, middle of the blue line. Swings a screen shot to the front of the goal. A lot of traffic out in front of Talbot, never got through. Martinook backhands it over to the right side, held in at the line. Now it's chopped deeper into the corner. Stankoven turns with it there for Carolina, brings it back into the high slot, shoots the puck. That's blocked right out in front of Talbot again.
He's still a rookie player. They got him the Dallas Stars and the Rantanen deal. Logan Stankoven, he's a dangerous offensive player.
The Red Wings just can't get that puck out. It's held in by the Hurricanes. Gostisbehere at the right point. Swept it to Kotkaniemi. Into the high slot. Pass across. A one-time shot wide of the goal by Stankoven. Rebound. Morrow tapping it into the corner off a stick. Gets it again. Right circle trying to center it out in front. Now moves it. Here's a shot blocked out in front of the goal. It's Kotkaniemi tried to score. Morrow holding it in. Fans getting a little restless here. Morrow with a nice move to spin with it. Right circle, floats it out in front. Broken up, and finally Comfer will clear it down to the Carolina blue line. Detroit now will be able to change on the go.
Just an outstanding shift by both teams. Great offense up by Carolina. Solid defense by the Red Wings. Took some valuable time off the clock. Now 9-10 left in regulation time.
Jackson Blake sticks the puck in behind the Red Wing goal from center ice. Sider wrapped it down the right wing boards back into the Carolina zone, and this will be an icing call charged against Detroit with 9:01 to play in the third period. Red Wings still on top 4-2.
And those plays definitely get you in trouble, but again, if the faceoff comes deep back in your own zone, and again, you've got 5 tired defensive players for the Red Wings out there. You know what's funny about those shifts, too? The offensive players don't seem to get as tired as the defensive players. I think it wears you down mentally. You can't get that puck out past the blue line. There's a big faceoff coming up right now. Aho against Marco Kasper.
It always seems like you have more gas when you're in the offensive zone.
A lot more fun than moving the puck around and trying to create the scoring chance and trying to stop it defensively.
Just heard out of town that Alex Ovechkin scored another goal, so he is tied now with Wayne Gretzky as far as the all-time goal scoring list.
Time left on the clock in that hockey game.
Got 2 goals in that game against Chicago tonight. Puck comes out to center ice, and Chatfield fired in behind the Red Wing net. 4-2 Detroit. Mo Sider out of his own zone. Sticks it out to the center ice circle. Casper gonna lay out his man. Blake will come away with a puck now to Chatfield. Stick handles his way down low. He tried to center it out in front. It's off a Red Wing stick and into the corner.
It's a smart play by Marco Casper. Chatfield definitely has head to down. He lays him out in the neutral zone. There could have been those plays you get a suspension for, and the Wings definitely need Marco Casper going down the stretch.
Seth Jarvis rifles it around the boards to Jackson Blake, who's hit again by Sider. That's the second big hit on Blake by Sider.
Blake Credit just keeps getting right back up.
Here comes Big Elmer up across the line on Chatfield. Button hook inside the zone, looking for a trailer. Wings in the middle of a change. Puck came out to Larkin at center ice, and now the Wings settle it down as Johansson from in front of the penalty box fires it into the Carolina zone. Kochetkov to tap it into the corner.
Those offensive zone turnovers by the Wings have got to stay away from that now late here in this third period, protecting the 2-goal lead.
Alex DeBrincat now into the corner. Centers it out in front. Kochetkov knocked it away. Now it's Martinook with a feed pass, and that's off the body of Robinson and out of play. So we've got a timeout. 7:34 to go. We're in the third period. Red Wings 4, Carolina 2. Big points on the table for the Red Wings tonight and their playoff hopes. Trying to keep it alive. We'll be back with more in a moment. This is the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.
When it comes to Coney's, nobody does it better than National Coney Island. With convenient locations throughout Metro Detroit to serve you, National has been a part of Detroit since 1965. And they're not just about Coney's. Bring in the family for some delicious chili fries, or pancakes, or a hand-dipped chocolate shake. They're all about the food you crave, and about being fast, fresh, and friendly at your local National Coney Island restaurant.
When it comes to trucks, Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through April 30th, get 2.99 APR financing or up to $3,000 customer cash on a powerful new 25 Tundra, depending on model. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 25 Tundra SR Crew Max for $449 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
From Novi to Royal Oak and down to Woodhaven and even Windsor, Ashley has Detroit covered when it comes to affordable, high-quality furniture and unbelievably comfortable mattresses. After nearly 20 years in the community, Ashley is proud to be the first official furniture and mattress partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Shop any of our 7 Metro Detroit locations and mention this partnership to receive 20% off your purchase. Some exclusions apply. Visit us today and help support the Red Wings this season. Only at Ashley.
Ovechkin tying Wayne Gretzky tonight for most goals ever in the National Hockey League. One more will get him to 895 and the record.
And Wayne Gretzky in attendance tonight, and so is the NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman.
10, 20 years ago, you think, well, no one's going to break that record. Here we are today, and we're talking about it. 4-2 Red Wings, 7.5 to go in the third period.
He's been a good player for many, many years, Alex Ovechkin.
Here's Roslovic, outside rim of the right circle, out of traffic in front. Makes his way behind the goal, centers it, comes back to the line of Brett Burns. Fired a shot, scores, redirected in front. I believe Jankowski touched it right out in front of the goal, and now it's a 1-goal game. Red Wings 4 and Carolina 3.
Well, right now the Wings just can't get that puck out to pass the blue line. They're definitely controlling the play 5-on-5. That is their bread and butter, and you can see why that pass was meant for a player in the slot. You got back to Burns, and there's that old-fashioned wrist shot. No slapper, just get it down in front. Couple of sticks down in front. Jankowski was in that area. The Hurricanes have scored their 3rd goal of the game. The Wings now a 1-goal lead.
And for Jankowski, goal number 12 on the season. Burns will pick up the first assist at 12:44, and it's the Red Wings 4 and Carolina 3.
And Simon Edmondson was back in defensive coverage of Mark Jankowski. Jankowski, another guy that came from Nashville. He's just a much better player again. He's a good fourth-line center, big, strong, tough guy. Played in Calgary Flames before. Kind of guy you think Nashville would hang on to. I'm not quite sure what they got going in Nashville, but it's not working.
They've been eliminated from playoff competition as Chatfield will work that puck from center ice into the Red Wing zone. He's got to be careful here. Again, they've been in their own zone for most of the third period. DeBrincat's pass comes out to Kane in front of the Red Wing bench. Kane poked it to DeBrincat. Now he'll shoot it around the boards. Puck eluded Kochetkov, the goaltender. Stankoven scooping up the puck. Gets those legs moving as he taps it into the Detroit zone. Sider in front of his own net. Sends it around the right side for DeBrincat. Now around the boards it comes to Mo Sider, right wing. He'll chip it high off the glass and sticks it to the Carolina blue line. Gosta spare control. Pass over to Chatfield. Up the right side of Jarvis, deflecting it to the side of Talbot. 1-goal hockey game. Red Wings 4 and the Hurricanes 3. We're in the third. 6:12 to go. Elmer Soderblom with an assist tonight. Bounced that puck to the front of the goal. Kochetkov cleared it away himself out to center ice. Petrie backpedaling his way, moves it away from Jarvis out to Soderblom at center. Chips it over the line to Marco Kasper. 2-on-1 developing. Kasper now stick handle. Shoots the puck. Save made Kochetkov. And Kasper shot that one from a sharp angle along the right side goal line. Now Raymond in the corner. Now to Rasmussen make that Edmondson with a shot. Kochetkov deep in the crease, came up with a save. Kasper dug it loose. Raymond had his pocket picked by Jackson Blake, who will sweep it out the center. 3-on-2 the other way. Aho now to Jarvis. Back to Aho with a chance, and he floated it to the front of the Red Wing goal. And gloved off by Cam Talbot.
Multiple scoring chance. A couple of the Red Wings, their best shift in quite some time. In the 3-on-2 rush, perfect execution. Aho let that shot go, didn't get much on it. It was a routine glove save for Cam Talbot.
The Red Wings have not scored here in the third, but when they do, it's a DT energy, like the Lamp goal. Pause of the action, 5:28 to go in the third period. Red Wings lead by 1, 4-3 over the Hurricanes. This is your home for Detroit Red Wings hockey.
You just slept on it funny. I think it's supposed to be that color. It's probably just something you ate. That'll clear right up with some aloe. Some chicken soup will have you back on your feet in no time. Not sure. But Mom will probably know.
Don't rely on guesswork. For 85 years, Blue Cross has been providing Michiganders with access to the care and resources they need. And will be ready to help for the next 85 years.
Wallside put the first in 81st. It's Wallside's 81st year in business. So for the first and only time ever, you get 81 months no interest. 81 months with no down payment. Plus half off every window we make. It's another first for Wallside. 81 months, no interest. Plus half off every window. For a very limited time, call Wallside today. 1-800-521-7800 or go to wallside.com.
Do you suffer from back or neck pain? Trinity Health has the latest methods and technology to help. Our team looks at many treatment options to create a plan that's right for you. From physical therapy and pain management to advanced spine surgery. Say goodbye to living with pain. Reach out to the Trinity Health Spine Program and get back to enjoying your daily activities. TrinityHealthMI.org/spine. Trinity Health. We see all of you.
Well, this one go down to the wire. 5:28 to play, third period. Mark Jankowski's tip-in goal at 12:44 from Burns, his 12th of the year, making it a 1-goal game. And a face-off to the right of Talbot. Razovic in for the draw against Larkin. Larkin wins it cleanly. Sider picks up the puck behind his own goal, moved it around the boards. DeBrincat tied up by Slavin, who was in deep, and now Kane comes out of it. And here comes a 3-on-2 developing over the line. Kane swept it over to Larkin, right circle with a shot in front. Redirected by Kane wide of the goal. And now they come back the other way, 2-on-2. Jack Roslovic over the line. Feed pass right side, broken up by Larkin. Here's Dillon across the Carolina blue line. Ripped it over, right wing for Kane. Long shot, Kochetkov with the save with Larkin on the doorstep, and he will just hang on.
And the Wings need more of that from Dylan Larkin now going down the stretch. Had a good offensive play, good defensive play coming back in his own zone. He just did miss tying it up or giving the Wings back that 2-goal lead. Perfect cross-ice pass, and Patrick Kane redirected it, but just wide of that goal post.
New Jersey Devils currently in third spot in the Metropolitan Division. They've won 2 in a row, 5-4-1 in their last 10, 87 points, and it looks like they're going to stay there and probably play Carolina first round of the playoffs.
Sheldon Keefe, the former Maple Leaf head coach, done a good job backing behind that bench. They're playing without Dougie Hamilton up front. He is going to come back to the playoffs, and of course Jack Hughes, he's injured. He's out for the season. That's a big loss for the New Jersey Devils.
Wings miss a pass. That one goes all the way down the ice. Icing called against the Red Wings with 4:38 to go in regulation. 4-3 Detroit And a face-off coming up, circle to the right of Cam Talbot.
And the Wings now have got to get that puck out to pass the blue line, just spending way too much time back inside their blue line, put some pressure on that depleted blue line of the Carolina Hurricanes and take valuable time off that clock. 4:38 now left in regulation. This is a must-win tonight for the Red Wings.
Wings play the Panthers here on Sunday afternoon, and you can get your tickets right now at DetroitRedWings.com/tickets.
Even with Matthew Tkachuk out, they've got some really good forwards up front. Sam Reinhart's having a great this season. Alexander Barkov, probably the Selke Trophy winning again for the league's best two-way forward.
Busy week for the Red Wings. They play Florida Sunday, Montreal Tuesday, and then they go back-to-back games with Florida and Tampa Bay. The puck in behind the Red Wing goal. Seth Jarvis had the puck chipped away by the Red Wing player down low, Marco Kasper. Pass in front. Jarvis now poked it to the front of the goal, and Talbot with a pad save.
Marco Kasper coming back hard that time. Sebastian Aho. Wings dodged a bullet there. That was close to a minor penalty. Another strong chip for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, the Red Wings having a tough time getting it out of their own zone. They finally did. Now there's 4 minutes to go in regulation. 1-goal lead for Detroit. Here is Blake. He's got a goal in the hockey game. Sets it up down low. Burns centers it out in front. It's intercepted by Dylan Larkin. Racing up the right wing out to center. Lost the handle of it. Second effort. Tossed the backhand behind the goal. Kochetkov to dump it around the right side. Burns flipping it ahead to center ice. Martinuk checked by Edmondson after working it up over the Detroit blue line. Kane tapped it out to center ice. Dylan Larkin sweeps it over. Here is DeBrincat, right circle moving in. Pass in front for Kane, too far in front of him as he charged to the front of the goal. Back skates Martinuk up the right side, make that Robida to dump that puck into the corner in the Red Wing end. Time ticking away, 3:05 to go in the third period. 1-goal lead for the Red Wings, 4-3 over Carolina. Hurricanes on a 3-game win streak. Now a 2-on-1 developing. DeBrincat over the line. Pass right circle one time. Shot by Dylan Larkin, and Kochetkov made the save.
Save of the game right there for Kochetkov. Robin, the Red Wing captain, quickly back on the attack, but a good defensive play again by Ben Sherratt.
Now it's Stankoven lifting it out in front of the Red Wing goal. Scramble of play, and finally Larkin comes away with it on a long shift. He'll lift it about 50 feet in the air and bounce it up across the line in the Carolina zone, and that allows Detroit to change on the go.
Wings were in desperation mode there. Ben Sherratt made a very tricky play to stick that time between his legs to Dylan Larkin to get the Wings out of trouble.
The puck ends up in behind the Detroit goal into the right corner. Comes back to Walker at the blue line. Walker fires. That one's off a stick and wide of the goal off the end glass. Wings just chip it down the ice. Petrie does. Race for the puck. Slavin's going to get there first, and icing is called against Detroit. 2:08 remaining here in regulation. 4-3 Detroit.
Wings can't go the well too many times in these icing calls. JT Comfer and his teammates, a tired group, the third line. Tarasenko, Michael Rasmussen. Big face-off coming up now. Fresh players on the ice for Carolina.
Critical face-offs and overtimes brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. Also, our player interviews brought to you by Meyer, proud hometown partner of the Detroit Red Wings. Paul, you working on that hardest working player?
Yeah, I've got it right there now, matter of fact.
Well, the goaltender, Kochetkov, has been pulled. The extra attacker's on. 1-goal lead for Detroit. Let's see what Carolina has to offer here. Here's Hall with a shot, and he fired it from the slot off a skate wide of the goal.
Forward circle back towards the blue line. Sometimes the defensive player gets lost in the coverage. That happened there, and Hall just did miss.
Gostisbehere floats it over to Burns, chopping it down with a stick, moves it to Jarvis down into the corner. Turning with it, Blake to move it back on the blue line. Burns to Gostisbehere. Crowd on the edge of their seat, holding their breath. Carolina's got it. In the Red Wing zone with the extra attacker. Aho to the blue line. Gostisbehere to Aho. Quick feed in the slot. A one-time shot by Jarvis. Wide of the goal. It's loose out in front. And finally intercepted. Tarasenko gets it out to Rasmussen. Crosses the red line. Tried to flip it towards the open goal. It was blocked by Gostisbehere.
What a diving save by Gostisbehere in open ice. Saving the game for the Carolina Hurricanes. Here they come again.
Gostisbehere flips it over the blue line. Now rink-wide feed over to the right face-off circle for Aho in the Red Wing zone. Down to a minute to go in the game. 1-goal lead for Detroit. Gostisbehere now to Aho. Winding it up. Moves it right circle. Hall in the slot. Shoots the puck. Blocked off the skate of Kasper. Foot race for the puck. Burns will get there first before Soberblom. Then he turned it over. And Kasper shoots it down just wide of the empty net. He was over the red line, though. No icing on the play. 40 seconds to go. Quick feed up the center ice. Taylor Hall shooting it in. Talbot the save. Rebound. Sider floats it into the corner. Blocked by Hall. Hall dug it loose. Now to Jason Blake. Back to the blue line it comes. Gostisbehere in the slot. A one-time shot, and Talbot made the save. Burns holds it in. Now to Gostisbehere. Long shot blocked out in front. Red Wings pick it off. Raymond skates out the center. And now with a bouncing puck, shoots it towards the empty net. And that one just wide as Jarvis went down to try and block it. 8 seconds to go. Hurricanes have to hurry. Larkin steals. Moves it to the brink. It's second effort. Got the post and in. That goal should count. There's zeros on the clock, but the Red Wings should get the goal and the win here tonight.
Well, the Red Wings get their victory. Their much-needed victory did not come easy. Carolina threw everything to the kitchen sink at them in the final couple of minutes of regulation of time. A couple of amazing defensive plays by Carolina, but the Red Wings.
It'll kick off to the yellow. Boy, that was close. Wow. It looked like he was going to line up Spencer Knight and let it go and couldn't quite get it, then tried to wrap it out. Every cell phone in the section right in front of us went up at the time that he entered the zone. Back in along the near side. That didn't happen with Gretzky in 894, I'll tell you that. Down ice. It's iced here by Chicago. And a draw that's going to happen in front.
Right now, realizing he had a great opportunity on that one.
I thought that was it. And I believe that just about everybody in the building also thought so too.
Good job by Spencer Knight, though, staying with it, putting that right leg out in the butterfly, discouraging Ovechkin to shoot that puck. But I think you're right, John. That puck wasn't sitting perfect for him. He thought he could turn around. He tried to wrap it, but the way he's going, he's had a lot of chances tonight. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's had a good half dozen quality chances.
4:06. All that remains here in a 4-3 game. All the while, the Capitals are in front and looking to win for the 49th time this year. Chicago looking for the equalizer. Here's Bedard. And a puck that comes back to Rinzel, and his shot from the right point is knocked down. Scooped out by Charlie Lindgren to keep the play moving. I'm sure everyone dressed in red on the home bench knows if Ovechkin would be available or not for an empty net opportunity. We are not privy to that information, but we're all going to find out with you momentarily. With 3:30 to go, would it end in such a fashion? A chance to do it on home ice. Would that be a tipping point? Rinzel for Chicago crossing back into the Washington zone. Capitals got to keep the lead, too.
Rinzel's been pretty impressive, too. Player.
Mangiapane going the other way, and a puck that is iced. Mangiapane was trying to race to it to negate it, but Chicago going to have an ozone draw coming up here with 3:11 to go. And a face-off in front of Charlie Lindgren. Capitals hockey tonight brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at Kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
The Caps trying to finish this one off. 3 minutes to go. There'll be a little push by Chicago, I would imagine. Probably about 2-minute mark. They'll probably look at pulling the goaltender.
Puck now off the draw. Alex Ovechkin's presser going to be a District D in Gallery Place with a building under construction. There's not a lot of room in here anymore. Kurashev along the near side. Wired for sound. We'll have it for you. Coming from District D when this one is over. Puck now in front, loose puck near Lindgren, and try to keep it out along the far post. Did so. And for more, as Chicago keeps working it around, Kaiser to Murphy. And Connor Murphy on the top of the right circle comes to Moore. Cross ice here. Murphy's shot kicked off of Charlie Lindgren. Lindgren's got to be feeling a little bit pressure to keep it in a one-goal lead, not just for the win, but also for Alex. As Kaiser had it wrestled free. Great defensive play there by Pierre-Luc Dubois. Nothing new there. Forced it out of the zone. Bedard coming back in with 2:15 to go. What's Anders Sorensen going to do here? Is he going to pull him soon? We think so. Near side. Not yet, though. Kurashev. Near side. No Ovechkin on the ice, by the way.
He's standing
He
up,
is
though.
standing, however, and that may be a telling thing. They're going to pull him right now. The puck coming near wing. Ovechkin is standing, but that's it. An empty net at the other end. And Ovechkin's coming on. And the crowd's going nuts. Ovechkin, well, he put one leg over as if he was coming. And now the puck fired here just wide. And icing is the call. Okay, well, it's decision time now. A face-off in the Capital Zone with 1:43 to go. Ovechkin hung a leg out there. Maybe he was never going to come, and he just wanted the reaction. But he got it.
Well, he got his reaction. There's no doubt about that. Him standing up was a reaction. He's still on the bench.
The fans want it.
A little timeout. Chicago taking the timeout.
Spencer Carberry's got to be a little bit... He's got to be feeling it. That's the one. That's the first thing I want to ask him tomorrow. Is that what are you thinking with 1:43 to go? You want to put him out? It was already done. He's coming out. Alex Ovechkin is on the ice here.
Spencer Carberry's made a lot of tough decisions in his life, but this one here, you look at it. This is, and I'm in agreement with you, John. I think they've talked about it. They knew what they were going to do before this game started. How about this? Games played.
If he gets a goal to get the record, he will have done it in one fewer game than Wayne Gretzky. One.
Just incredible.
Alex Ovechkin's not coming out. He skated out again, and he goes to the bench. He's not going to come out. He doesn't want to put it into the empty net. He stays on the bench. This is not going to happen tonight.
And he's in the middle of the bench, too. If he was coming out, he'd be by that door.
He is never in the middle of the bench. He is always at the end of the bench. He's not coming on. This is going to go to Long Island. No empty net possibility here for number 8. He stays on the bench. 4-3 Washington. 1:43 to go. And it is won by Chicago. Back to the blue line. And Ryan Leonard will break free. Come up the middle. He scores! Ryan Leonard's first NHL goal. It's 5-3 Washington.
Oh, just some more excitement in the game we've had tonight. I mean, empty net goal. Wasn't Ovechkin. Ryan Leonard's had himself a very good hockey game. Uses his speed, sees the empty net, he jumps on it, puts it in, and congratulations on his first NHL goal. In about 20 years, John, that's going to be top shelf on a breakaway.
Ryan Leonard, welcome to the National. His first NHL goal. They will replace the goaltender. Now, if they pull him here at 2 goals, this is more where he would come out anyway. I don't think he's going to. Oh, well, wait a minute.
He's on the ice right now.
He's on the ice. Oh, boy.
And he's talking. Look at Spencer Knight is looking over at the coach.
Alex Ovechkin is on the ice, and maybe history isn't dead quite yet on this night. It is won back by Chicago. Knight is looking for the bench. What's Anders Sorensen going to do here? Is he going to pull him? Hasn't yet. 1:25 to go. And a puck for Spencer Knight. Along the near board. And towards center, turned over. Ovechkin with a goal again. He shoots. And a puck just deflected away by Rinzel, and it's going to go up and out of play. Ovechkin trying to do it with a goalie in, and Rinzel saving the chance from his goaltender. Good on Ryan Leonard. His first NHL goal on this most historic night. And when that score sheet goes up on the wall, it's going to be dripping with history for him.
Yes, it will. You know, that's a great. I don't know how you can start your career any better than that.
A puck drops. Ovechkin is still on here. Caps in the offensive zone, so they can't pull a goalie. And Ovechkin remains. Faravari comes low here. Strome for Ovechkin. Oh, it kicks off the goalie. It goes up and out of play. Oh, my goodness. Off Knight into the protective netting. Even with the goalie still in, he almost did it with 1:01 to go. I thought it was labeled. I thought it was going. I really did. He's got 61 seconds, and this road show is going to Belmont Park. Off the draw, Ovechkin again. A shot into the glove this time of Spencer Knight. And Spencer Knight gets booed for such efforts.
Oh, boy. How many chances has he had tonight? I mean, you know, we've seen this in past, but not lately. He's had 8 or 9 good quality chances to score a goal.
He's not done yet. 58.4 to go. Strome wins him the faceoff. And a puck that comes all the way down. Everybody in this Washington lineup would love to have their name next to him for $8.95, but I don't know that anybody wants it more than Dylan Strome does. The puck sent near wing. He has been his centerman tonight. He has helped him get there with an assist on $8.93. And Carlson and Mangiapane got the assist on a power play here in the third on $8.94. 30 seconds left. Ovechkin remains. And a puck in behind the net played by Spencer Knight. Around now to Strome. Chicago comes out of the zone with 20 seconds left. They are not going to pull the goalie, but now a puck turned over, and it's Strome coming to Ovechkin. He'll shoot and up into the glove, and every human being in this building was standing and rising to the occasion as Ovechkin came into the zone, and Spencer Knight said, no, not right now.
No, I've already given up 2. I'm not letting him have the other one. So
he will stay out. Alex will. It's 5-3. The Capitals are going to pick up standings points, number 106 and 107. Andrew Mangiapane, who assisted on $8.94, is going to join us post-game outside the Capitals dressing room. One more shot here for Ovechkin. And a puck one back toward him, taken away by the Hawks. And they will make their way into the Washington zone. A shot that goes wide of Charlie Lindgren. And the road show goes to Long Island for history. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Chicago. Alex Ovechkin, $8.93 and $8.94. He ties Wayne Gretzky and will now go to Long Island for a chance to pass the Great One. Final score, Washington 5 and Chicago 3.
Capital One Arena. The Capitals beat the Blackhawks 5-3. Alexander Ovechkin goes 40 and 41. He is tied with Wayne Gretzky now at 894 for the most goals in NHL history. And oh yeah, his next game right here at UBS Arena Sunday afternoon at 12:30, nationally televised on TNT.
Wayne Gretzky will be in the building here at UBS Arena. Gary Bettman as well, and I'm sure a whole slew of other names will be in attendance, with Alex Ovechkin 1 goal away from setting the NHL's all-time goal-scoring record. And watching the last few minutes of that game in our booth here on a monitor, and the crowd standing up just the same way a crowd would in the last couple minutes of, say, a Stanley Cup final clinching game, where everybody's on their feet just waiting for that moment to occur. And they got to see the tying goal, but they did not get to see the record tonight in the district.
Again, Alex Ovechkin has 44 career goals in 71 games against the Islanders. He's only faced Ilya Sorokin, his good friend, 3 times. He has never scored against Ilya in those 3 games, and we would expect that Sorokin will be in goal on Sunday afternoon as the Islanders' schedule spaces out a little bit. Only set of back-to-backs remaining is next weekend, when the Islanders will have matinees Saturday in Philadelphia and Sunday in New Jersey. Right now, Islanders the business at hand, protecting a 2-goal lead with 7 minutes remaining. New York again trying to snap an overall 6-game winless streak, a home ice 4-game winless streak, and they've dropped 7 in a row to this Minnesota Wild team. It hasn't mattered where the games have been played, here in New York or in beautiful St. Paul, Minnesota. Wild again themselves have gone winless in 3 and only 1 win in their last 6, as they are feeling the heat from behind. Calgary and Vancouver trying to catch them, and the Blues have won 11 straight to pass them and in the first wild card spot in the West. Here's Holmstrom with a burst of speed through the right circle in the Minnesota end. Kicks it left circle for Romanov's wrister, but right into the breadbasket of Gustafsson, and he will cover. 6:32 to go in the third. It remains New York 3, Minnesota 1.
So the Islanders trying to hold on here and end this 6-game winless skid, as it has become a couple of tough weeks for the Islanders after they got themselves within 1 point of a playoff spot. There was one game in which, if they had won, they would have ended the night in a playoff spot. That would have leaped them over a couple of teams. Didn't happen, as a couple of squads in Montreal and Columbus have been able to put together wins as of late. Rangers still in the mix, of course, as well, with their big win in overtime against these Minnesota Wild a few nights ago. And Minnesota possibly 6 minutes away from a winless New York trip. Yep. New Jersey and the two New York venues.
Here's a chance for Simlikov through the right circle. He went backhand, forehand, chipped it on net. Gustafsson the save. It laid out to his left, and then he just shoved it with his glove to Brodin. So if that happens in regulation, Greg, the Wild would have lost 3 games in the local area in 3 different ways. In a shootout on Monday to the Devils and overtime to the Rangers on Wednesday. And the Islanders hope in regulation here tonight on a Friday evening. Minnesota still with time to work, though, just under 6 minutes as they work it to the right wing corner of Islander ice. Johansson out to Spurgeon at right point. Their captain put it in deep, but nobody there in a white uniform. Islander blue jerseys are there, and it's Casey Cizikas doing it both ends tonight, south of his goal line, changing direction, then coming up the near boards and pitchforking a backhand all the way down. And they are going to say this is icing as he got a little too much on it. So still 3-1 Islanders, 5:29 to go in the third. The only other team in the mix, Greg, in the wild card chase in the East is the Red Wings, and they won at home tonight, 5-3 over the Hurricanes. So Detroit at 77. Again, Montreal's got the second wild card spot at 81. Rangers 79, Columbus, Detroit 77, Islanders at 74, trying to get to 76 with a win and pull within 5 of the halves.
The Hurricanes coming off one of the more spirited games of the season across the NHL, where they went against the Capitals the other night. Penalty upcoming against Minnesota.
And Gus Nyquist dragged down Noah Dobson.
Offensive zone penalty, too. Yep. When your team's down 2 at 5.5 to go.
Not a good one at all. So we'll get the call before we step out. Nyquist has some words to say.
Minnesota penalty number 41, 2-minute minor for slashing.
So Nyquist on the slash, time for a New York Lottery power play. Isles up 3-1 and up a man when we come back. 5:23 to go in period 3. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Kill has caught fire of late. It is 11 of 12 over the last 6 games, and Tuesday against Tampa, with all that firepower the Lightning have, it went 4 for 4 and added a shorthanded goal for Bo Horvat. Yesterday after practice, Casey Cizikas was asked about the Isles PK.
You know, it's such a big part of the game, and, you know, going against a power play like that, I thought the guys did an amazing job, and they killed off big penalties in key times, you know, to keep that game close. So it's trusting one another. It's knowing where, you know, if there's a breakdown, then everyone knows what their job is in that situation. And at the end of the day, there's always a big save to be made, and those things are happening.
That is Casey Cizikas. Greg, ever humble as he continues to say they did a great job. He's the biggest part of that penalty kill with, again, the faceoff wins and the block shots.
Well, now it's the Minnesota Wild penalty kill that is in a tough spot. They've given up 1 goal on 2 chances so far tonight. The Islanders only have 1 shot on goal on their 2 power plays, and it was Noah Dobson's tally early in this third. Minnesota trying to stay within 2. New York to the power play.
Yeah, I think if the Islanders score here, it would be lights out, as the deficit would be 3 and the clock showing just over 5 minutes to go. So Islanders looking for the put-away goal on the power play as they take the dump down and gain the zone. Anders Lee down the left wing wall to the goal line on the left corner. A couple of Wild fell down. Palmieri drives the net, but it rolled off his stick in front. Trying to get it out here is Foligno with help from the far side, and the Wild will lift it high in the air to the New York line where it's knocked down by Noah Dobson. So again, Dobson and D'Angelo remain the 2D on this power play as Noah gains the zone himself. Down the right wing wall to the goal line, whips it around for Lee on the left half boards. Pop free there.
The Wild's Merrill shielding it away from Palmieri, and Minnesota able to put it 200 feet the other direction behind the New York net, where Sorokin will tee it up for Noah Dobson. So 4.5 to go in the third. Islanders up 3-1. Their last goal was Dobson on the power play at 3:36 of this third period. His 9th overall, but first on the man advantage. Palmieri gained the zone down the right side, but then intercepted by Boldy, who put it to Islander ice, as Minnesota will look to break here short-handed and try to get back in this game if they trail by 2, as Islanders are going to take their time as Patrick Waugh gets the second unit out there. They've got 40 seconds man-up time with which to work. Dobson, the lone holdover from the first unit, pushes it ahead at center. Simon Holmstrom down the left wing wall for Max Siplikov, and then he backs it out to Noah Dobson here at left point, joined by Pulock at center point. He hits Ryan. Pulock goes to the right half boards for Siplikov. Right dot, shoots! Knocked away with a cheater portion of the glove by Gustafsson. And now the battle for the puck in the near corner of the Minnesota end. Siplikov tried to sweep it out, found Pulock at left point. Ryan skates at the center point, takes a look, no shooting lane, to Siplikov, right dot. Down low behind the net for Simon Holmstrom. He and Merrill tangle up. Pajot for Pulock at left point. Final 5 in the power play. Dobson has it at right point. Noah takes a look. To Pulley, a one-timer left circle. Stick save. Puck loose in the air. Holmstrom tried to knock it with his glove in. It didn't go in, but it went to Pajot, and it's whistled down on a hand pass. So out of the box is Nyquist. Wild get through a big kill to keep them down 3-1. And now with 3:22 remaining in regulation time, we'll keep an eye on John Hines, the Minnesota coach, to see when he wants to take his goaltender, Philip Gustafsson, in favor of an extra attacker.
That was as obvious as a hand pass as you could imagine. And it did kind of look like Holmstrom was trying to push that into the net. And there was just no way it was going to count. But maybe he was hoping for a rebound off of Gustafsson that then he could put home with his stick in a legal fashion.
So neutral zone face-off just outside the Minnesota line, won by Casey Cizikas. He plays it to Engvall, who gets it in behind the net, cut off by Gustafsson, leaves it there for Brodin, and Fasching on the forecheck snuffs him out. Minnesota starts their breakout through center. Rossi, left wing over the red, sends it in deep. Sorokin stops it behind his net. Played it near circle, but played it near side, but turned it over to Rossi, did Ilya, and there goes Gustafsson to the Minnesota bench. Empty net for the Wild. 3 minutes to go. Minnesota's down 3-1. They're skating 6-on-5, and they have it set up in Islander ice. Boldy, bottom of the left circle. In the slot for the wide open man. The quick shot by Spurgeon is blocked. Right back to Boldy. Left point now Zuccarello. Left half boards Boldy. Matt Boldy kicks it out right point. Now they find Zuccarello, center point. Zook with a wrist shot, deflected in front, but to the far boards it goes. Brodin the hold. To Rossi, goes out to Spurgeon at right point. Spurgeon shoots, punched away with a waffle by Sorokin, but held in by Minnesota. 2.5 to go in the third. Wild down 2, but up a man here with their goalie on the bench. Boldy, left half boards, bottom of the left circle. Toe-drag in the slot. Oh, and they just missed it wide right. May have even gone off an Islander stick. Hudson Fasching chips it out to center. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Cizikas beaten to it by Boldy, who quickly spins it the other way to Rossi. Left wing over the New York line. Marco Rossi winds it around near side to far. Johansson and Horvat tangle there. Remember, the Minnesota net is empty. 2 minutes to go. Islanders lead by 2. Puck in the right wing corner of the New York end. Wild turned it over. Matt Martin with the puck. Moves it out to center to Anders Lee. The captain now right wing over the red. The backhand. And cut off in front just in time by Matt Boldy. Islanders trying to hem the Wild in, but Minnesota breaks it out to center now. With 100 seconds to go, they're going to back it up into their own end. Wild down 3-1. So it's Marcus Johansson trying to find a way through a crowded neutral zone. Islanders show the 1-2-2. Boldy down the right wing wall. Tried to back it out to the blue line. Gave it away to Horvat. Spins it off the far boards for Anders Lee. He's going to send it all the way down along the far wall. And this will be icing against New York. 3-1 Islanders. A minute 21 to go in regulation time. And I think Minnesota will use their timeout here, Greg, I believe. But in any case, with an offensive zone faceoff, they're going to keep Gustafsson, their netminder, on the bench.
6 skaters on the ice all look gassed, and they do go over to that Minnesota bench, so they will call that timeout. Islanders will certainly take that with the icing and being unable to change. Anders Lee just didn't get the angle. He was not trying to send it down the length of the ice. It wasn't as if he was looking for an empty net and missed. He was trying to play it off those far side boards by the Islanders bench and have it sit in the neutral zone that the Islanders could at least start a change, but that was not the case. Didn't get the angle he wanted, and it goes down the length of the ice. And we do look over at that Minnesota bench. It's not Jack Capuano with the whiteboard, but he is an associate coach for the Wild these days, so he is over there standing next to John Hines.
Yeah, great to see Cappy back behind the bench. He's bounced around quite a bit since leaving the Islanders, and
He had a nice run in Ottawa for quite a few years. 6 seasons, I believe, with the Senators.
We've talked about this before, but Steve Sterling is often in the building scouting for the Ottawa Senators. When he was Islander coach, his 3 assistants were Jack Capuano, Dan Bilesma, and Brad Shaw, who have all gone on to be NHL head coaches. In fact, Shaw right now the interim head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers after the firing of John Tortorella. Minnesota wins the face-off on Islander ice with 75 seconds to go in the third. They're down 3-1. The Wild set up Spurgeon, but in his skates, top of the left circle, neatly to his stick, shoots from the left dot, and that's blocked out of play by New York with now 66 seconds to go in regulation time. Isles up 3-1.
And so it will stay as the same group out there for the Wild. The Islanders decide to make a swap, a 5-for-5 change. Took them a second to decide whether they would do that or not, and that is going to be the case. So J.G. Pajot and Scott Mayfield will talk things over, as Pajot will try to win the faceoff to Mayfield, who's back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch each of the last 6 games.
But the faceoff won by Rossi, left circle for Zuccarello, who's got the only goal tonight for Minnesota. Backs it out to Spurgeon, center point. 1 minute to go in regulation. Zuccarello, left point. Zook loads the gun, doesn't shoot. Taking away the shooting lane out high was Pajot, and now it caused a turnover. Holmstrom, though, couldn't get it out of his own end. Foligno, errant pass all the way back into the Minnesota end toward the empty net, but it's going to be wide left on a missed pass by Minnesota, so no icing as it's picked up by Zuccarello in his own end. Skates at the center, stick handles to the red, turned it over at the Islander blue. Mayfield shoots for the empty net, but he misses wide right, and they're going to call the icing here against the Islanders with 30.3 seconds to go in regulation. New York still up 2.
Mayfield looking for his 3rd goal of the season. His last was on January 2nd in that 2-1 loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs, so he scored the only goal for the Islanders in that game. And he doesn't have any points, actually, in his last 20 that he's played.
Pajot against Rossi, again left circle and Islander ice. The Minnesota net is empty as they skate 6-on-5. Little false start as linesman James Tobias makes sure everybody's out of the circle before he sets the centers and drops it down on the dot. Another win for the Wild. Spurgeon at left point. Down the wall to Zuccarello on the half boards. Zook behind the net now. Marcus Johansson tries a wraparound loose in front. Sorokin the save on his knees in the paint. And then some pushing and shoving as Adam Pelech wraps up Rossi. Foligno has lost a helmet. He's battling another Islander who's in the mix. That's Scotty Mayfield. And it looks like cooler heads will prevail here with only 20 seconds to go. And the Islanders up 3-1.
It looked like Rossi had the best look in that sequence. A backhand effort from the low slot that he was trying to elevate over the left shoulder of Ilya Sorokin, but didn't get it high enough. As a result, stays out. So 20.1 seconds to go. Minnesota down by 2. And it looks like the Islanders' winless skid is about to come to an end.
And Wild's final game of this 3-game road trip that has seen them lose in a shootout in New Jersey and overtime at Madison Square Garden. And their fate not looking good here. They will host the Dallas Stars on Sunday back in St. Paul. They are feeling the heat from behind. Calgary just 5 points back. Vancouver 8. And they'll be in Calgary Friday and Vancouver Saturday. Those teams hoping to catch the fading Wild, who they don't win here. It'll be a 4-game winless streak and just 1 win in their last 7 games.
And remember, they don't have Kirill Kaprizov. He's only played in 37 games this season. 52 points in those 37 games. And they're obviously a much better team with him than without, but hoping that he can come back soon and be part of a playoff run.
Wild do win the faceoff. Boldy down the right wing corner of Islander ice, but he's only got a dozen seconds. Put it through the crease, in one side, out the other. Spurgeon shoots left circle. That's wide. Boldy the hold. Top of the right with 5. Boldy to right point with 3. Shoots. That's wide. Far corner. Johansson on it, but the horn sounds, and the New York Islanders defeat the Minnesota Wild by the final score of 3-1. For the Islanders, their overall 6-game winless streak is over. Their 4-game home winless streak is over, and they have been winless in their last 7 meetings with the Minnesota Wild. That, too, comes to an end here tonight at UBS Arena.
And the defense was able to limit Minnesota to just 1 goal tonight. First time you can say that for the Islanders since February 27th. Every subsequent game, the Islanders allowed at least 2 goals against, and more often than not, 4 goals, including during the course of this 6-game winless skid that is now over, where the Islanders allowed at least 4 goals in each of those contests. But tonight, just 1 on 28 shots for Minnesota. The Islanders get tallies from Cizikas, Holmstrom, and Dobson, with the Dobson tally putting this game away on the power play in the 3rd.
So Islanders back within 5 points now of the Montreal Canadiens for the 2nd and final wild card spot in the East. Both teams have 7 games remaining in the regular season as one by one the Islanders make their way off the ice. And we'll stick around for PA announcer Alex Anthony's 3-star selection and then an interview on the New York bench with MSG's Shannon Hogan. So again, first Islander win since March 20th against the Montreal Canadiens when they won in overtime here. Bo Horvat brought that one to an end.
And the shots on goal for Minnesota going down each period. 11 in the first, 9 in the second, 8 in the third. When they were in desperation mode trying to get back into this one.
All right, so in just a moment, we'll bring you Alex Anthony as he will sort out the 3 stars among 3 Islander goals, and certainly a great game for Ilya Sorokin, whose only goal was Zuccarello banking it in off his mask from behind the net. So here's Alex.
3 stars of the game presented by Pitney Bowes. The 3rd star from the Islanders, number 53, Casey Cizikas.
So Zeker with the goal that got the Islanders even at 1-1.
The 2nd star from the Islanders, number 10, Simon Holmstrom.
And Homer gets credited with the game-winning goal, his 18th of the season.
And tonight's 1st star from your New York Islanders, number 8, Noah Dobson.
So Dobson, the power play goal for insurance in the 3rd, the primary assist on the Cizikas game-tying goal. Noah autographs that puck, flips it into the seats, and now he will slide in alongside Shannon Hogan on the New York bench, who will join in as well.
Thanks, Brendan. No, we were just hearing from the guys talking about the stars of this game.